So, welcome everyone to Tyrant's Wrath. If you guys don't know what or who we are part of, we are a branch of Purgatory. I have actually a whole intro that I realized I haven't done yet because I am a bad streamer. Don't worry about it, guys. This totally isn't my first time doing this. But hello and welcome, dear spirits, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. Today I'm your storyteller, Sinspeaks, and we shall be continuing the tale of Tyrant's Wrath. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. We have a whole friendly crew here. We also have a whole YouTube called Tables of Tartarus under the same name. If you guys want to see the expansive history of all the videos we've done so far. As you can see, we're on episode 24, so there's quite a bit to catch up on if you guys want to watch it while doing dishes, while eating food, playing a video game, watching a movie. I don't know how you would do both those at the same time, but I've done it before, so feel free to do whatever floats your boat. Even do it while fishing. I know a couple people like fishing while listening to us for some reason or another. So whatever floats your fancy, feel free to do so. But we're going to get started by I've been watching a few things recently, so we're going to get started by kind of walking through some of the characters. We've been through quite a bit so far in the last 24 episodes and stuff, and I know that, you know, your guys' characters have grown a little bit, have encountered vicious monsters at this point. You guys have fought yourselves, you guys have seen more of who you are, you guys have established more of who you are, so we're just going to go down the line. And we're going to kind of talk about your characters a little bit. We're going to figure out how your characters kind of changed, who they are, what their point of view is to a degree, kind of who they are as a person right now. Who wants to go first, or I'll pick?
You said you were going to go down the line.
This is true. Thank you. Look, I'm very bad sometimes. So, Ania.
All right. That's what I thought. Okay.
Don't start with an A.
So Ania is a wood elf druid of the stars. But however, as we have found out over the course of the journey, Ania is actually a changeling. She's not revealed her form, and only half the party actually knows this fact, and she doesn't even know that one person knows in particular. But she has still kept that hidden. She hasn't changed her form at all. And she is mostly the healer of the party. This is actually her first time away from her druid circle slash convent or whatever you would call it. So she is fairly new to adventuring. She is still struggling figuring out things regarding herself, but she is also sort of the babysitter alongside Cyril for most of the party since she has the highest int of the group. So she can get a little bit overbearing when trying to get things to go a certain way, a little bit too much of a perfectionist in that regard. But yeah, there are a few other healers. She is mostly focused on healing and staying the back. She's also come the closest to dying out of most of the group because her HP is so low. Okay, I think that's good.
Okay.
Yay! Clap, clap, clap.
Cyril, my man.
Cyril is a paladin, a oath of the Eldritch Hunt, and it's become pretty clear that there's something off about Cyril's physical form, although he hasn't really delved deep enough into it to reveal it yet. Like Ania said, he's kind of sort of just become party dad. Partially because of the fact that he's the oldest one there, and it just kind of sort of happened. I think it's mostly just a sense of responsibility for everyone. And the polar opposite of Ania when it comes to being in combat, he's not just looking to be up front, he's looking for whoever is the most dangerous on the other side and trying to keep their attention on him.
Very nice.
Yay,
All right.
clap, clap, clap.
Gilmore.
Oh, Gilmore.
I
Oh,
was gonna
okay.
say, it
I
sounds
mean,
like
I'm going down
Right.
line on the video.
Right, yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Sorry,
makes
I'm
sense.
trying to track it down.
You're
And
fine.
again, in advance, I apologize. I am very bad with actual explanations.
You're good.
Anyway, though, I am playing Gelmar, the Dragonborn fighter, specifically the Rune Knight fighter. Over the course of the adventure so far, he's been demonstrating himself to be at least one of the two primary tanks in the group. He's durable, he's got a lot of capabilities dedicated to redirecting attacks or making them less likely to hit. However, one secret that he's held that is currently only visibly known by one party member, he is actually a dragon trapped in humanoid form. By an array of chains in the form of manacles and a prisoner's collar around his neck. These seem to stop his magics and hold him in this form. Worse still, they all seem to work off of him as if he is their battery, slowly draining his power as they are holding him down to this position all the same. However many of the rest of the party members in-game actually know this, I would imagine at least two others do. But they have not actually come forward about it in-game, so who can say?
Okay.
Still
Yep.
Clap, clap, clap.
half dragon, or basically dragon.
Yep. Polymorph dragon. Dakota.
Dakota. Speaking of dragons, Dakota Rider, allegedly, appears to be a 7'6" orange dragonborn cowboy with glowing green eyes. A warlock whose patron has only been known as the Knight thus far, armed with a gun, just a straight up gun. But as we've learned, Dakota is actually a changeling that was kept captured by the High Elves and is now constantly on the run, just terrified for his life. I don't know, is there anything else there?
What kind
Sorcerer?
of person is Dakota?
Yeah, how do you fight?
okay.
Yeah, Dakota really wants to be calm, cool, and collected, like Dakota Rider from the novels. Full on true neutral, abiding by the cowboy's code and upholding freedom and justice. But in reality, Dakota is actually incredibly scared and awkward and paranoid for his life. His true personality, who I think has really only been revealed around Ania and a little bit of Cyril, appears to be a lot younger and just more scared in general than he'd like to be. So he's constantly undergoing that conflict. In battle, this kind of shows as well, but when he's fighting, he actually kind of channels Dakota a little bit more, with a few more one-liners and a dark look in his eyes. But he usually sticks to the back because I think he has some of the lowest HP in the party. Is incredibly fragile, but his gun does a lot of damage. Yeah,
He's the perfect
Shoots through
epitome of glass cannon.
yeah, full on.
All right. Rue.
Yay. I play a half-elf cleric of the Zeal. Her name is Rue, but it used to be Rue of Abagath Valley. That was before she found out that because her struggle with her memory has been so bad since she had an accident. She had forgotten that her parents had passed away at their farm years and years ago. She thinks that she's, still kind of back there, but thankfully with
the help of her teammates in that really hard moment, that she was able to kind of find a new purpose, of finding a new home and kind of searching for what that kind of means.
Hmm.
As someone with having a good time with low intelligence and low charisma, I have a really good time all the time. That means basically being front first in battle and helping out those who need some healing, when she notices. And basically just having a good time all the time, watching out for her friends, and just living life good.
Very fair, very fair. And finally, Sapphire.
Okay, I play a half-elf ranger named Sapphire. She's been very reserved with this group only because she's still trying to unpack her lost memories, trying to find them, recover them before she even knows who she really is. As of right now, she's grown fond of this group, so she's willing to do anything to protect them. And trying to uncover all the mysteries that have befallen around the group or within the group. Yeah, I
Very
think that's
nice.
everything.
And then you're also missing
And she always
your
goes for the eyes.
Yeah, I try to go to the closest to the brain to kill him the fastest.
I mean, literally, though. Literally, if the target she's faced so far, anytime she knocks an arrow, it's just like, I go for that guy's eye.
I want your eyeballs.
Aim small, miss small, man.
No.
We're gonna have to fucking make special rulings for specifically eye shots. That'll be great. All right. But that is the party so far. I believe Sapphire is also missing parts of her memory from her childhood, which hasn't been touched on too much at the moment, aside from the statement that from, I believe it was both a goddess and the embodiment of envy, I believe, the seventh sin.
Yeah, the mirror.
Yeah, the mirror. That she is a pawn of sorts inside of a war between the Fey Wild and the Shadowfell. As to what that means exactly, she has not a clue. And where that puts her, again, she has not a clue. So it's a very interesting mystery that sits in the back of her mind. But we're going...
I don't think most of the party knows it either, because both of those exchanges have been in private to Sapphire.
Mm-hmm. I believe everyone is aware that she has connections to the Feywild. I think she said that at least once or twice. Beyond that, her entire history is a mystery. I believe all of you. But courtesy of the wonderful and lovely Storyestry, she has given me a wonderful recap for me to read and joist upon. I severely doubt that's the word I meant to use.
What does that mean?
But I'm going to go with it. I appreciate the hydration.
I take it back. Give me the shoelaces now. Immediately.
I'm going to riff as best I can upon this recap. But last time on Tyrant's Wrath, if you guys are sitting down and listening and just having a chill, wonderful time and didn't really go back and listen, I suggest you do, because it was a wonderful episode. But our team, the Vale's Equinox, as they are currently calling themselves, was still inside the Bandit King's, well, now the Vampire Lord's castle. It is a very run-down castle that was taken over by these bandit group, the Crimson Talons? Yes. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The Crimson Talons. I'm getting my own names mixed up. But it was taken over by the Crimson Talons a long time ago, and with the courtesy of Dakota, is now under a Vampire Lord's reign. They are currently trying to figure out how to proceed with it, or at least they were during that episode, and Cyril spent some time in the morning training both Gelmar and Rue in learning more about an ability called Riposts, The strict training regimen left both of them a little bit worse for wear, but did have quite positive results, so they're quite happy about that. Ania and Sapphire joined them a little bit later on, Ania informing the group about what she had learned from speaking to the Bandit King Roderick about potential solutions to their quite large vampire lord problem at this point in time. Though they are leaning towards the idea of simply moving on for now, Rue, our wonderful cleric, was still weighed down by the bandit who had been basically juiced into existence, or non-existence, I should say, by the vampire lord. He was quite literally turned into a bloody mist. Though she could do nothing for him because he died in less than 5 seconds, simply leaving seemed a little bit wrong to her. It felt like she was abandoning him to a degree, and that was not something that, at least in her code, she believed should be done. Ania, being very, very helpful, suggested perhaps that they hold a funeral to set her mind and perhaps some of the others' minds at ease, in order to kind of give them something back. Encouraged by the idea, the two of them left to look for clues to his history, to his life story, and his name. He was just a random bandit, but they wanted to give him some kind of honor, some kind of ending to his life that he just didn't get. The rest of the group went to the kitchen for breakfast, and Cyril took a little bit of time to have a talk with Dakota about Dakota's feelings on the consequences of his actions, having actually freed this vampire lord. And how sometimes the truth is not the best thing to say, even if it's owning up to something you did. Sometimes a white lie helps more than the bloody truth. Something that conflicts with Dakota's idealization about his sense of self coming from the book series Dakota Rider. Before they could really get into it, Ania and Rue had returned with news that the bandit's name had been Jason. They returned with a memento of his as well, and almost every other bandit telling them that Jason was a prick and an asshole, and that bandits didn't deserve burials. This included Cade, the Bandit King's kind of sort of second in command, who pretty much looks over the whole town, although how, no one really knows. Undiscouraged, however, the group decided to host the funeral anyways, Gelmar even volunteering to make some special headstones with runes for safe journey, as is his habit from his subclass, the Runic Knight, I think. The Rune Knight.
Rune Knight, yes.
To their surprise, Cade actually did show up at the funeral, along with Alexandria and Roderick, the Bandit King himself. After a quiet ceremony, they met with Roderick to talk about their plan of action. He gave the group a time limit of a couple weeks to a month or so before things at the castle would almost certainly go south, and that they should return in that time if they did want to help. They set up a wagon with Alexandria to head to the town of Stillwater, but then they were stopped when Gelmar noticed a high elf sneaking among the bandits. Something quite odd, as high elves were something the bandits were quite unabashedly against. Though it wasn't unheard of to have them in there, it was very strange. Discussing it, Rue remembered that she had seen this high elf before, and even found a suspicious book of hers, which the party perused. Deciding it was some sort of messaging or recording system, but not quite sure what it meant. They left it with Roderick for him to deal with as they made their way out. On their way to Stillwater, they made camp for the night, Dakota tossing a journal that he had written in only earlier that day into the campfire, an action he made sure no one else saw, though a few did notice the embers of the book pages and leather cover letter later. Ania also had to talk with Gelmar about his restraints and potential ways to remove them, Ania offering to study the efforts Gelmar has made thus far using runestones. With that, we shall return to our party a little bit later in the morning, as the party is starting to wake up. This is in my own world, not quite in Forgotten Realms. I've homebrewed this entire world. At some point, I'll make a command for kind of a world explanation. What's the word I'm looking for here?
A setting?
World lore?
Setting's good.
World lore setting.
setting lore.
I'll produce a command that lets you guys see it and peruse it at your leisure. I'm pretty sure I have a section for it already, so I'll just make a link to it at some point. But this is my own world and my own design that I made a long time ago. That I'm basically using the this crew to refine, and hopefully they've been enjoying the ride so far. But you guys are going to wake up a little bit early in the morning after having had most of your guys' talking done. You guys have interacted with one another throughout the night, most likely. If you guys had anything you wanted to do during the night that you had not already, do let me know. I don't think y'all had anything. Aside from your potion crafting. I think you were potion crafting, Ania.
I would be focusing on the runestone that night, since
okay.
Gelmar said it doesn't last very long.
Right.
So no
okay.
potions tonight.
Good thing too. Mechanically, those things actually do drain in by the following morning when I have to carve my new ones.
Very fair. All right. But yeah, so you guys kind of probably groggily wake up. It's probably about, I want to say 7, 8 o'clock in the morning or so. You guys kind of slowly gain consciousness, however you guys wish to.
Ooh, 4 today. For my
I was
omens.
gonna say that's mildly threatening to see just a random dice roll.
Nah, that's my daily omen roll.
It's better than me accidentally smacking the one key on my keyboard and you just see an entire screen full of D6s rolling across the screen.
I love it.
Hey, did I ever take the time to? Didn't I get like the last Dakota Rider novel from the person?
You did, though you have
Did
not
I
read
ever-
it yet.
I should take the time to read that.
Okay.
Ania's asleep. Ania does not want to wake up. It's morning unless the crowd is moving on right away. She is asleep in her like bedroll or. Oh wait, no, she sleeps sitting up like Dakota does because they're weird. So she's.
Only
So
thing
I
she's-
Gelmar,
imagine most of the party would be sleeping in the wagon.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. That way, if something happens, they can just take off.
Right? Because there'd be no point in setting up a tent if there's already a wagon.
Yeah.
only thing Gelmar is doing this morning is carving up his. How many runes did I even have here? I think it was like 7, or was it more that I have to
It's
technically
probably like
make up?
7 or so. You have a lot of runes now.
Technically speaking, yes. Whew.
And the
Why
group
did I do
is
this?
all, I believe, level 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes,
My
you're all
favorite
level 7
number.
right now.
We are indeed.
So as you're crafting your runes and stuff, you're mostly left alone for the most part. Although you do see Alexandria has risen basically with the sun, and she is petting her her horse, feeding it, make sure it's taken care of, with a lot more gentleness that you've seen from her so far. And she's just kind of not seeming to really pay attention to you in any way, shape, or form, just kind of basking in the sun. Is a clear day at the moment. And yeah, she's just doing that. What are the rest of you guys who are waking up with the sun doing?
Not waking up. In Ania's case.
Probably get up decently early,
Mhm.
see what's going on, see if I don't know, someone's tried to ambush us. If there's any flippin', that person totally could have still been a high elf spy. Who knows? Maybe they're hiding.
Open. Yeah.
Rue will be up. She, of course, is always very energetic.
Mhm.
Probably gonna creep out of the carriage after waking up, and then probably doing her sets around the area. Just kind of keeping around, and then mostly talking to her friend. Just out in the comments, like, "Oh, it's a little colder today," but she keeps her voice a little down for the others around.
Very fair. Very fair. Okay.
Cyril is off ahead of the party, scouting out the way. So like Cyril took last watch, and round about the time he saw Alexandria get up, he took off with the elk to just sort of scout ahead a little ways to see if to see what the road looks like.
I love that most of the group is now waking up to Cyril just fucking vanishing again.
I mean, it's better than what happens when they wake up to Gelmar, just scraping on stone.
That's fair.
Like dad activity. It's like you hear him in the distance in the kitchen. Why is he up so early? He's clanking the pots and pans.
You just hear Cyril do the booming dad sneeze over a mile away.
Multiple times.
Yes.
All right, Sapphire, are you doing anything in the morning, or are you just kind of resting at the whatever it's called, carriage? Sapphire?
Nope,
Sorry,
there.
I wasn't wanting you to unmute.
Are you good?
I think I'd probably just be taking it easy in the morning.
Alright, cool. So as you guys all kind of wake up and Cyril dad sneezes a mile of fucking way.
Achoo!
Fucking rumbles through the fucking ground. Alexandria having now taken care of her horse, which she has not bothered to give the name of, by the way. She kind of looks over at Galmar, having now probably finished all of his stuff. And she kind of walks over to him, and I don't think I have a picture of Alexandra, if I recall correctly.
Is she the one in the NPCs with the huge axe?
No, I think that's
It says Seraphina Lockjaw. You're right.
Yeah. Although very similar, if I recall correctly, she is also human. She does not have that big of a great axe, though. Her one is more the general size of a little bit smaller than yours. She's also probably about, I think, 5'8" or so. So quite a bit smaller than you are, but she is built like a train. She is ungodly levels of muscular. And honestly, it looks more like she challenges Bigfoot to arm wrestles every day than it does anything else. But she kind of looks at you, and even though she's slightly small, like, well, a good 1.5 feet smaller than you, she holds herself in a way where even though she has to build like a brick shit house, yes, even though she has to look up at you, it really doesn't feel like you're looking down at her. It looks like you should bend down to be on eye levels with her, kind of a thing. But she kind of looks at you as she just goes, "So, you want to fight?"
He looks at her. Very much, yes. Though
Nice.
Preferably not. Though preferably not to the death. I know that's your preference, but I think we're both going to need our heads on our shoulders for what's going
Don't
into
worry.
later.
I only fight those I fuck to the death. Don't worry about it. You don't seem like the type. Although, if you ever are.
He just stares down at her blankly for a minute. I'm not sure, and I want to ask about what you mean by that. But that sounds wonderful.
I swear, you just, I don't know. You know what? I think you're too innocent to be on this carriage ride.
If she only knew.
She like walks over and pretty much walks over to a small clearing, which I believe I have a map for. We'll just use this one. Actually, this works shockingly well. It's the same one you fought Borin on. I don't have a picture for her, so I'm going to use...
Just throw her down like the penny overworld icon or something.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Boop. There you go. So she stands across from you. She has very similar stats to you, funny enough. Also very
I'd
similar
imagine
to Borin.
You did kind of imply that she's at the same level as me, so
Mhm.
fair.
So she kind of like folds her arms over her chest, and it's just don't be a back and forth. No worries about. Well, actually, we should do initiative just because it's whoever goes first, effectively. So, do. Yeah, we'll go with that. Sure.
I love how it's still Boren.
Yeah.
Wait, did it not
It's
roll?
just easier.
Did my thing not roll?
I did
I'm
not
sure
look
it's
to
a game
roll.
initiative. Let's try that again. Huh.
Let me clear your initiative. Reroll again. You can also go into the second tab and there you go. All right, you
There
do
we
go
go.
first. Cool.
Oh, slick.
So she just kind of stands there watching you. She arms folded. Her gray axe is on her back. She doesn't even seem slightly bothered. She's just watching you.
The next question is, how do I want to open?
That's a good question.
The strongest attack. The strongest attack first. Unleash all of your power, right?
The flowers are blooming. The birds are singing. Days
The
like
days like
these.
kids like you. Take a seat.
Well, let's open things up with a quick hill rune.
Ooh,
He will
okay.
pull. Actually, what even color was this? I need to double check what color I set for this.
I assume blue.
The heck did my runes go? I can't find them.
I think they're in features. Yeah, they're in features.
Here we go. It's a gray colored rune, actually.
Ah, fancy. Okay.
So he pulls the familiar gray rune from his coin pouch, which tosses it idly in the air before proceeding to crush it with his gauntlet. The moment that he does so, you see a magical flash come from the gauntlet before he's cloaked in a similarly colored aura. Let's begin in earnest, he says, before darting at her for a quick swing.
Ooh.
Very nice. All right. Feel free to roll your swing. It's
Where the heck
we're gonna go
did
20 AC.
She's got 20 AC.
Yeah.
Holy crud.
Holy goodness.
She's beefy.
That would seem.
She is built like a brick shit house. It's really hard to hurt her.
Yeah, I think that's a miss.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
an 18. Okay, but I have extra attacks, so let's go for another.
Very nice.
So close though.
For the love of God, it's hunting.
I
Okay,
do want
jump
to.
straight to the attack.
When it misses, is it missing or does it like hit her armor and there's like a big clang and it does nothing?
Yeah, so oh, by the way, you can use the multi-attack thing on the left as well to make it a little bit faster.
Crud, I can't even
So-
don't even remember those things.
Yeah, you're good. It's been a while since we've been in combat. So, when the first attack, you swing down towards her, and she quite literally grabs the not the hilt, the near the head of the axe. She grabs that portion as it's swaying down towards her, and she basically just throws your axe to the side. Which does give you momentum to spin around, and you essentially slam it into her. Would you go for her arm or her waist?
No, I'm going for a body blow. Are you kidding?
All right, fair enough. Feel free to
I'm
roll
going for the
damage.
torso. I'm giving her respect for this.
Very nice. Feel free to roll damage on that.
Let's not do this to the death. Choppity chop chop.
Technically speaking,
Jesus.
when I said I was coming in, I meant I was going to do it with my gauntlet, but that works.
Oh my goodness.
So you slam into her side, and it does sink into her side, and you notice that she hasn't moved. You just full power, full body weight slammed your magic axe into her side, and it sunk a good inch into her side, and she just kind of puts her arms folded again, and she looks at you as she looks at the axe, and she just goes, "Huh, you do hit hard, you son of a bitch," and she's just gonna straight up try to deck you in the nose, which is going to
Roll
be.
what you got.
We'll go with
Magic
don't worry about. Actually, you know, I'm gonna place Boren down on here just so I can use the multi-attack easily. Why the fuck that's not Boren? What the
Why is
hell?
he suddenly a human?
What's that Arthur's picture? Whoops. Okay, that's weird. All right,
Zach's telling me
whatever.
a lore
I
reveal.
just need the picture there. Whatever. Okay, she's just going to Krayak shot you. She's gonna go for 2 attacks. Her first one's gonna be with her fist, so ignore the actual thing there. To do what the fuck? Why is it rolling so? Oh, okay, it's not supposed to roll damage. That's weird. Oh, is it because I had?
Also,
No.
just so it said, neither of those hit.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the fucking damage.
Wait.
What the hell?
Oh wait, there were 2 attacks she made in the top segment. Only one of them hit.
Okay, I don't. Oh, sorry. I don't really understand what just happened there with my tooltip. So, 11, 24, and then. Okay, and then it rolls 11, 20. What? Okay, so it did that both out of order and in order. That's weird. Okay, anyways, 11, 24. So she misses. So she throws a straight haymaker at you. How do you dodge it?
I'm just going to literally parry it with the gauntlet.
All right.
And I've got the resources. I'm going to follow it up with riposte.
Ooh,
Specifically,
fuck yeah.
my martial adept riposte.
Okay.
Where did it go? Here we go.
You can use your action to expend one. Oh, okay. Well, you still have it in her side, so feel free to roll your attack on that.
Alrighty.
While this is going on, oh, go ahead.
Let's see. Yeah, it's a D6. So that's a 3d6 attack there.
Very nice. So yeah, roll your attack roll.
While this is going on, Ania is like slowly
That's
coming out of the carriage, all like, yeah, what's happening? Are we being attacked?
So as you slowly like get out of the carriage and you like look to the side, you see an axe buried in Alexandra's side. But did you pull out the axe to try to swing her again, Galmore, with that riposte?
I pulled out the axe and went for a punch with the gauntlet.
So you see just blood squirt from her side effectively as you try to punch. With her 24 there, she basically is going to catch your punch with her left hand, grab her axe with her right, and slam it into your side. Effectively mimicking your move.
Give me your damage.
15.
Damage is 15?
Yep.
Actually, cut that down to 7 because currently have resistance to physical damage.
So she basically just copied your. The thing that you notice here, she copies your stance, your move, and your motions almost perfectly with that swing into your side.
Still felt like she just punched a chunk of iron over a piece of stone.
You see, like, it kind of vibrates through her arm as it sinks into you, and she's like, huh.
You're a tough one. I think this will be a lot of fun. Glad to see you. Glad to be on this side. And he says with a friendly smile.
If you were any less innocent, I'd be riding you tomorrow. You're fun.
Oh gosh.
Said the bandit to the apparent teenager.
She don't know that.
You don't know that. So
to be fair, he does actually look like an adult in his humanoid form.
No.
Somebody gotta tell her. Somebody gotta tell her.
No one knows. Does Galmar know?
Oh crap!
Ania knows his technical age, but she doesn't actually know what that means in draconic years.
Yeah.
Next time that we're out drinking, you just gotta stop him and then tell everybody.
All you know, Ania, is that he's 90.
He's 90,
97. That's what he told her when she directly asked how old he was.
Even
none
for
of my
elves,
books tell me.
Yeah, even for elves, that's almost adult age.
Oh no.
So she just sinks it into your side and just smiles at you.
I think we'll both enjoy this one, he said, as she can catch the whitish mist building up around his jaws. Hey, Sin, I'm going to double cast my Draconic Breath.
You are
Oh,
quite literally not only in melee distance, but she's holding your hand and has her axe buried in your side. You get advantage on both of these dragon breaths.
Neither of them are attack rolls, they're saving throws, Sin.
Oh, she gets disadvantage on both of these saving throws. Where are they?
heck yeah.
Let's see, they would both be dexterity saves. The DC is 15.
Ooh, all right. That's her first disadvantage. Yeah.
That's failure. Full 2d10 damage.
That's her second disadvantage. Yeah.
Ooh.
4d10 cold damage.
Oh, do it.
Oh, that's
him.
gonna hurt.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
Why
gonna
is it only
hurt a
doing
lot.
1d10 at a time?
Oh, because
You know,
it's yeah.
Where's the
You know,
rest?
yeah, I rolled that. Oh, yeah.
Feel free to
give
just
me,
roll 2 more d10s.
Yeah, fair. I'm just gonna do it from here.
Yep.
Nice.
That is.
That is a total of 21 cold damage. That's actually really, really low.
Yeah, I was expecting that to be a little bit higher. That's gonna be reduced slightly as well. She has resistance to cold damage,
Oh,
which
dang.
you find out as you breathe massive amounts of cold into her face. Like, just how's your frost breath look exactly?
I mean, normally, I believe he coats his great axe and then swings upward, but she's way too close to do that, so I practically just spray her with, you know, the white breath that everyone has when they are exhaling in the middle of winter?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but huge.
Very fair. Pepper spray. Pretty much. So you do a massive gust of icy wind and frost, and you see it coating most of her clothing as well. And she's holding your fist with her left hand. She's buried in your side with her right, with her great axe in your side. And you just absolutely drench her in frozen mist. And you see she twists her body a little bit, and you can see frost actually snapping off of her body as she then cracks her neck. Ah! Refreshing. How do you feel about suplexes?
Oh, I think this will be fun, and he says with another grin.
God. Let's
Forget
see if
the axes. We're going hand to hand.
see if this actually
Just already
works.
throw it to the side.
All right. Does this work? No. Okay. On. I got this. Testing. Okay.
Just happened.
Trying to make this thing work. Did that work? I suppose it does a roll and the thing. Weird. It's not supposed to do that.
Roll, yeah.
Oh,
Are
well.
you just trying to do athletics check to pull him to the ground?
Yeah. So basically, she disregards her gray axe entirely and grips your gauntlet and pulls you into her before letting go of your hand and wrapping her arms around you in a massive bear hug. And she's not going to deal any damage with that, but she is going to deal damage with the fact that you are now restrained, and she's going to do her second attack to
Dang,
effectively
straight to restrained.
suplex you
Holy
into
crud.
the ground.
Straight to restrained. Holy crud.
Yeah, we'll do a strength v strength. So she's going to... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Still better.
Ow. I am shocked she got 2 on that, but that's okay. So she attempts to lift you up, and she does manage to get you slightly to your tiptoes. She just forgot that you're 1.5 feet taller than she is. So her arm positioning is wrong. So she attempts to lift you up, and you just don't go anywhere.
Come on, you need to take into account the midsection of the individual you're working with. He calls out.
Ah, shit.
Then
Hold on,
again, to be fair,
she kind of like looks up at you and she's like, hold on, let me reposition myself, Ro. You mind?
Only if you're fine with me trying the same.
Fucking go for it.
Nia's like
Is that her
preparing
turn, then?
breakfast.
She's
She's
preparing
just
what?
using it as an excuse to feel you up. Run, Gelmar.
Oh no!
He's not into
Save
her
the
like
child.
that.
All right, feel free to do. We'll do another.
Athletics.
Yeah, athletics versus athletics.
To be fair, though, Gelmar is like 300 plus pounds, so
That is true.
dang, that still wasn't great.
Ooh.
Yeah, you win. Even
So-
without modifiers, you win.
So you put your arms around her as well. Both your gray axes are pretty much like dropped to the side at this point. But you put your arms around her as well, and then you attempt to lift her up to flip her over. But as you do that, your hands slide up a little bit, so you're actually around her shoulder blades now. As she goes, wrong positioning, and she goes a little bit lower, grabs around your waist, and you can feel your entire body go weightless for a second as she full-on suplexes you like you are a bag of fucking corn. As she lifts you straight up and backwards, and you can see the ground coming up towards you.
Uh-oh.
And it hits you like a freight train.
Whew.
You get buried into the ground, like your entire head up to your neck sinks into the ground as she gets away from you.
Dang, she's smart.
Oh.
My gosh.
Is it a check to try and pull myself out?
No, you can do it easily.
My, stronger than you look as well. I'm impressed.
She taps her shoulders. Boy, I've been lifting weights larger than you since I was a wee lassie.
My, sounds like I need to step it up then. And he said, that's pushing himself back up to his feet.
Well, come on then. How you want to do this? You want fisticuffs?
Why not? He says, tossing both great axes to the side.
Hell yeah! Hit me like a freight train.
What's a freight train?
It's something the gnomes invented a long while ago. They have these little tiny miniature car thingies, and then they throw it at each other.
Oh, I
The
think
heck
I've
is a
seen
car?
Yeah.
those.
Usually it explodes. We're not entirely sure why. They just really like adding like weird little explosive dust to it.
That's most gnome things.
I'm never going to understand the small folk.
Everyone's small to you.
He looks over towards Cyril and
No, Cyril's not here.
And he looks over towards Dakota, and in the general direction Cyril went.
Okay, well,
Most.
aside from the giants. Alright, come here, motherfucker.
All right, I guess we're going in for unarmed strikes.
Yeah, feel free to just roll strength, and then... actually, no, you both are going to hit each other. Roll constitution.
Just straight a check or a save?
Save. Essentially, you're just both beating the living
my.
shit out of each other.
I swear, none of my rolls have been above a 10 and since we started.
Very nice. So she like you walk up to her and she just straight clocks you in the jaw, and you can feel your jaw slightly going out of place before pulling it back, but not too much. And then how do you punch her? Bear in mind, it's a good thing you're wearing a gauntlet.
Let's do a football charge.
All right, cool.
Just like I'm just gonna smack her with the lower arm, I guess it would be called. Yeah.
Like the elbow region.
Yeah, just charge her and try and smack her with that. On the
Alright,
gauntlet
cool.
arm, of course.
Yeah, so you do so, you run into her, you slam your elbow into her, and it's legitimately like hitting a giant boulder. You've actually had training sessions where you have broken boulders more easily than this woman's abs as you slam into her, and your entire arm just you can feel it resonate through your body, just the sheer impact you do against her, and she doesn't move. She's like, "Oh, that might actually bruise. Good job, boy."
You are a tough one. I think I'll enjoy this.
She's gonna put her hand on your shoulder, and it's just gonna straight slug you in the gut. Roll me Constitution.
Save again, I assume?
Yep. God damn.
Even higher, finally.
You tighten up your abs, your fucking draconic scaled abs, as she punches directly into your stomach. You barely feel it. It's like but everyone around you can see when she hit you in the gut, there was a force of wind that pushed from behind you, from the sheer force of the impact into you. You don't notice it at the moment, but yeah, she hit you effectively with the force of like a cannonball.
Again, I say, metal chess piece over a stone form. That's basically what she just punched.
Holy shit, boy! That might have hurt my hand.
I'm honestly impressed it didn't. You really have been going through a lot of training.
Time to get knocked down. As she like holds her hands out to the side, literally giving you a free shot. Which she
I'm just going
will
to try.
on.
I'm just going to, with the gauntlet hand, try and grab her and flip her over my head.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. That's a far distance.
Oh no, I'm just like flipping her over the head, slamming her into the ground behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of thing. I'm not chucking her.
I mean, you're a foot and a half taller than she is.
That's fair.
That's
do
a
I roll
far
anything
distance
for this,
for her.
or?
No, she basically just gave you a free thing. So you lift her over your head, and you pull her clean over and slam her into the ground. You can actually see she coughs up blood at that.
Oh no.
Oh, the ground ain't soft.
We can take a moment to rest. Ask if you need some air.
Bitch, what'd you just say to me?
You do you, he says with a shrug.
She stands up again. At this time, she goes for a straight up roundhouse kick to your head. Roll me Constitution save.
Honestly, fair. That is fair.
Oh no. Oh sure.
Not horrible.
Yeah, you feel it. You feel it. It hits you square in the side of the head, and even with a 20, like, you're dizzy for a couple seconds. She used her entire body weight to hit you in the head.
How much damage are we even receiving from all of this?
Honestly, probably a lot, but I'm not keeping track of it at the moment.
I was gonna say, I think I've only actually gotten a damage roll from the first hit she landed on me.
I think unarmed damage is your strength modifier.
Usually, yeah.
Unless you have unarmed fighting style.
I think it's +1, but that's mostly because unarmed strikes are capped at 1 damage otherwise.
Yeah, I usually do it strength modifier.
That's fair.
But yeah, you two basically for like the next, like, I would go say like 20 or so minutes, you two are pretty much on par. Let me just roll her con real quick one more time. Yeah, you two are pretty much on par with each other, and it's really like steel versus rock. If the rock was, you know, iron. So you guys
this
are just...
This just feels like the Metal Gear Rising standing here meme.
Yeah, pretty much. That's effectively what all you guys get to see for like a good 20 minutes. What?
Nanomachines, son.
Just both of us going back and forth, wailing on each other. Or taking the other one's hit and then undoing it to the other way around.
That's effectively what you guys are watching for like 20 minutes. And it really does sound like they are punching either some form of rock or some form of metal with the force of a great axe every single time they hit one of each other. And about 20 minutes or so later, Cyril, you come back on your elk. And you just watch for maybe a couple minutes or so. The two of them slowing down, finally, just trading blows like is their last night on Earth.
Ania has been eating breakfast and trying to examine the room Gelmar gave her a bit more, although it's probably faded by this point. She's also watching Gelmar while he fights, particularly during the breath attack. She was trying to see if the restraints were reacting at all.
Funny
Roll me a
story.
perception check.
That's fair, actually.
That's a very good question. Very nice. Go, Gilmore.
You've heard the tales of Dragonborn, and it turns out, or whether or not this tale is true with regards to Gelmar specifically, it looks like this isn't actually magic. He's just letting loose. It must be something from internal. It must be something internal in his body. Must have like a cryo sac or something somewhere in the throat.
It's all that mint ice cream.
All right, she's very satisfied with the knowledge she has learned just from that analysis.
Cool. But yeah, so Sarah, you're slowly coming back from your elk. You didn't see much ahead on the journey. It mostly is just the same stuff you've been seeing so far. You do know the town is maybe a couple hours away, just from what you're able to see from a good high-rise vantage point. But you come back and they're very slowing down at this point and just pounding the fuck out of each other. At this point, there is mini craters on the ground as well from just the sheer force of them stomping down and punching forwards.
And Nia will look up to Gelmar, or not Gelmar, Cyril, and be like, "Do I have to heal them?"
No.
Okay.
I think they're enjoying it. One of them especially.
Gelmar can heal himself. It'll be fine.
Above game, you have openly watched him do it a few times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually,
Wow, this is crazy though. Rue's just in the background. She's like upside down on a tree stump. She was doing crunches. It was just like watching them just upside down, head on the ground.
Just high-fived her on the way in.
I love the idea of Rue doing like crunches on tree branch in 55-pound armor.
Yep.
That sounds like a Rue thing to do.
That she
forgets
out.
to remove it.
Was gonna say that sounds about right.
Just casually doing it like, this is my daily routine, guys.
Actually, on the way after he's done watching the spectacle, he's gonna let them continue on. He's actually gonna go over to Rue and watch her like working out in the heavy armor that she has on. Oh, how are you doing that?
I like put my strength in my abs and I crunch up like this. She thinks you're talking about the workout. She's like she's sitting on a stump, and then as she goes all the way down with her head, touches like backwards, of course, to touch the ground, and then goes all the way back up, and like a crunch.
It's
kind of heavy.
In my abs.
You know, I think that I think I may have to ask you for some help on figuring out how to move around better in heavier armor when we get back to Haven.
Oh, I could definitely do that if you teach me. Oh, you could just show me again how to get out of it. That would be great. But if you can't, yeah, I'll show you.
You don't know how to get out of armor?
I think it'll come to me if I move my hand around or something on the straps. I probably do.
When was the last time you took off your armor? He leans in real close and whispers, "Actually not know how to take your armor off."
I start I like lift up my hand and put it on my shoulder where I think there's a strap, and I start tugging at it.
You
Slowly.
your hands seem to know the way very loosely, but they seem to know the way. You have not a fucking clue what you're doing. It's all muscle memory that you're like trying to find the thing. Your hands seem to go in the right spot, and then you fumble around for it, not quite sure where you're aiming for. So it takes you a little bit longer than it normally should, but once you grab onto the strap, your hands, it's like years of doing it comes back to your hands, and before you even really think about it, you just kind of pop off the strap.
Oh, nice. Kind of finagling, and then like the shoulder strap pops up. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I did it.
Yeah.
I guess I know.
There you go.
Yay!
And
It's always
Cyril,
it's always easier to undo than it is to undo. I'll give you a hand of doing, and I'm just gonna help her buckle it back up.
fair.
Thank you so much,
And
leader.
Cyril, as you're watching her and helping her, you have probably helped put on and take off literally thousands of times heavy armor, medium armor, and stuff like that. You know the very ins and outs of it. And you know when people are used to it. You know when it's someone's livelihood, knights or other stuff like that. They have a specific way of doing it that just makes the lives easier. That just comes from over time. She has none of that until the exact moment that her hands physically start the process. And then it's like a decade, if not more, of experience in a single fluid motion. And then it's gone. And it just keeps happening.
Knowing, bringing it up feels like it would only take us all the way back to her village in her memory.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not going to mention the memory issues that we all know, and even she knows that she has,
Mm-hmm.
and just gonna kind of like roll with it.
Fair enough.
That
Fair
sounds
enough.
good. She definitely rolls with it too. Every day. Yeah, I can definitely show you how to like train with it. It's super fun.
I'm definitely going to need help, but I know when we get back to Haven and I need to get some new armor. I think I'll be getting. I think I'll be looking around for something.
Heavier?
Something with more coverage. Yeah, something heavy.
Are you ever going to get something for your horns?
No, they don't exactly need protection. They are protection enough.
Oh, that is true. I think I remember you coming down from the sky, right? There was like an attack you did.
That was. I had intended that to work entirely differently than it. That is for certain.
Oh, well, how I remember it, it perfectly worked out.
You know what? I appreciate that.
Of course.
You had the most perfect landing.
Like a leaf on the wind.
Oh, don't say that, no! No!
Ended the same way. Fuck, I love that movie.
The horse part is, I just hear that in the first out of the car across the one. It's like a leaf in the wind. Then there's a distant clunk.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a gif of it.
There is. Don't post, and it's sad. Cyril critically hitting half the people here, the other half not knowing why it's sad.
Oh, there's an airplane over my head right now. I have no idea.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
secretly sad.
I love that movie
Oh.
so much. We've seen it like 9 times. It's great. But yeah, so as you're talking with her, Calmar, you and Alexandria finally like you kind of slowed down. She kind of like taps your shoulder. She's just like as she like spits out a tooth on the ground. Good shots. Good shots. Oh.
Can I heal that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
For the demonstration, I need to keep pushing myself forward. Would love to find more rivals like you out there.
You actually managed to make me bleed. She kind of looks at the large slice wound in her side. Very impressively done.
Honestly, I'm impressed by just about everything that happened out there. On both sides. Absolutely wonderful. Exhilarating.
I'm a stubborn son of a bitch. She kind of like walks past you. You notice her like her stumbling ever so slightly. She's like, "Medic, I might be having blood loss at the moment." Woo.
Good job.
Good job.
Gelmer actually pulls out the Goldrune. You know, I could also assist with a little bit of that.
Nah, fuck it. You already did enough. I trust you to punch people, not to heal people.
Suit yourself, he says with a shrug before turning around and moving back towards the rest of the group.
Ania's gonna go over and cure wounds her.
Yeah, as you cure wounds her, she lost a lot of blood. Probably like 20 minutes ago, it was pouring. She lost more blood than you're fairly confident most people have, and somehow she's still walking towards you. It's kind of disturbing.
She gets 8 health.
See the wound kind of stitching itself together as the flesh connects, and she's like, "Whew, I haven't lost that much blood in years." Whew. Thanks, Doc.
I can give you a healing potion, which will do you a lot of good.
Nah, don't worry about it. I'll recover. I always do.
Okay.
That's her be. She's not casting more than one.
Yeah, if I gotta kill someone, I'll eat their face. It'll be fine.
I was going to agree with the first thing you said, but then you said the cannibalism, and I just had to cut it off there.
If you lost blood, you just ingest more. It'll be fine.
Do I know enough about medical procedures to know that some blood doesn't mix?
You would know for a fact that, yes, if she ingested people's blood, it would, it'd be the same as, like, drinking water and eating calories and shit. The fact that it's blood does not help her at all. In fact, it probably would be very bad for her to drink blood normally.
It would not restore your blood. It just goes to your stomach. It does not go to your veins. It doesn't work like that.
Ah. What about flesh?
No, it just goes to your stomach.
Ah. Does it help from the stomach?
Eating normal food helps from the stomach. Probably more than that.
Ah.
I haven't done any research on it, though.
She slowly walks over to a horse and starts patting it. Ah, he understands me.
I imagine he does.
What were you saying, Gilmer, before? I
was going to say, above game, I'm pretty sure just about everything that goes in your mouth finds, at least to some degree, its way into your veins.
Eventually.
Eventually, but we never said how long it takes.
You're all fairly confident just by observing her. She's not right in the head. She's very much so not right in the head.
Actually, since Alexandria walked away from the party, is Ania able to talk with the rest of the party in semi-private while she's with the horses and delirious from blood loss?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
She's not in any way paying attention to anything.
Ania's going to approach the others and say, like,
"Oh, before we arrive in Stillwater, now might be a good time to mention what Roderick told me before that I didn't want to say in the bandit castle."
What's the sitch?
And she'll wait to see if everyone, like, comes over to listen and such. I'll
Oh,
survive, Blake, sir.
absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
the armor shaking, shika shika shika, putting it back on.
Mhm.
Just like the Dionysus. Oh, absolutely.
So Ania will start. So I was talking to Roderick over. We were having breakfast together. Sapphire was there too. She also heard this. She can corroborate. Corroborate. Corroborate.
Corroborate.
Corroborate. Okay. She can corroborate. And so apparently the reason he really wants to blow up specifically this area of the Elven capital is because apparently there's an artifact in their council room that is very, very bad and he wants to destroy. And if we were able to remove it, he would agree to maybe blow up some other place that we can get people out of more easily than a capital.
But he will still blow up somewhere.
I mean, it's a
Still
lot.
staring.
It's a lot better. And maybe if we do well enough, he won't even want to blow up any place.
Do we have to give it to him, or could we just destroy it ourselves?
So this artifact apparently, from what he says, he has people in the capital who have told him about this. It's an artifact that corrupts anyone who touches it. And it's just in the council room, and he's worried that the council members are all corrupt, but I don't know what that implies or what it is doing. He seems pretty confident about what intel he does know, though.
Cyril kind of looks a little pointedly over at Dakota. You know, I feel like something like that explains quite a bit.
I wasn't aware I was in this scene. Can someone explain to me what just happened?
Oh, I even had Ania make sure everyone
Oh,
was
goodness.
gathering around.
Oh gosh.
Y'all
So,
all in the
and-
same spot.
Sorry, I
Ania,
tuned out like halfway through the Gelmart thing fight. I swear I was paying attention.
no problem, no problem. So
Let's be
Ania
real,
was
half of the fight
basically.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Let's be real, half of the fight was basically just both of them screwing around.
Good to listen to. We listen to it.
It's fun though.
So Ania was talking about how she learned there's an artifact in the High Elf Council room that apparently corrupts people who touches it, but also sort of corrupts people just by being in the same area. And that if they remove it, Roderick may not blow up the capital, maybe, because he wants to destroy that specifically. And then Cyril sort of looked at Dakota and was like, that the fact that there's an artifact that is corrupting the High Elf Council, like all the higher ups, might explain a few things.
Oh, that explain. Okay, yep, I see it. All right.
Wait, how do we
Yeah.
know that they are corrupt?
Well, we don't know. Roderick just says there's an artifact in the room that's doing bad stuff.
And you're certain it's not going to be essentially spawning up another internal war of its own to simply approach it to find a way to retrieve it?
Well,
So
I mean,
So
go ahead.
Dakota's gonna like thank her a moment before he looks over to like Cyril, and Cyril's gonna hear in his head, "I think I've seen that, sir."
There's a long pause while Cyril's just kind of like trying not to stare at you.
So Ania
Is it
will.
something?
Oh,
and,
go
and,
ahead.
and you're gonna hear in your head. Is it something you think we can get out of it?
Not easily, sir. If I've got this right, I think it's in the throne room. If I recall right, I think it was either I think it was near the it must have been near the thrones. I think I remember seeing some kind of orb
Hmm.
And Ania will continue being like,
Well, Roderick said that he has a lot of people there who could potentially help us. He gave me a passcode phrase to tell any guardsman, apparently. Not that they're on his side, but that they're so chatty that eventually someone on his side would hear and help us, and that they would assist us in any way to retrieve it, destroy it, so on.
And we're certain there isn't going to be anyone on the other side that knows what it means either, right?
What do you mean? Oh, you
Like,
mean if someone.
if someone from the, how should I say this? If someone who's physically against Roderick would hear it and trace it back to us as allies, or perhaps more accurately, mutual enemies, or no, I guess that's not really the right word for it either. But I think you know where I'm going.
Know where you're coming from, but also, no, there is no guarantee. Roderick seemed pretty confident, though.
Hmm.
Well, it's something, but I'm starting to wonder about how much he actually knows about what's going on.
Should I go ahead and ask friend if the artifact is real and if it is corrupting the High Council?
Um, I don't know much about how much gods know. I mean,
Well,
it wouldn't hurt.
no, no. It's always nice to talk to friend when they can speak.
Can certainly give
guess.
us some more information about these things.
Hmm.
Okay.
Maybe if you were going to ask a question. And Anil will think for a little bit.
Mhm.
Since they're a god, What? Do you know what your god stands for, by chance?
For zeal, to do our best in our life and to die well, and then we all hang out in the afterlife.
Sin, do I need to roll a religion check to like gather anything about what a cleric of zeal or a god of zeal might like or do or know of?
Yeah, I'd say roll religion check. Mostly of like information you've gathered over the years in relation to religion,
Ooh,
which is not a lot.
not a lot. Okay.
Okay. I guess ask them if there is a source of magical corruption happening among the high elf. Um, what would you call it?
Is it like nobility? Do they
Pretty
have like
much, yeah.
titles?
They're all considered to be lords, ladies, and I believe the highest high, the three families are yeah, probably lords and ladies, I think would be the highest.
Should I
Amongst
say due to the orb?
um, I
I don't think anyone said
Mm.
orb yet. Dakota said orb,
Dakota
like
said
in
orb. Yeah.
secret
Oh,
to
that's true. Never
Cyril.
mind.
Oh, right.
Cut that
Yeah,
out.
yeah. To the artifact.
Fair,
Anian,
fair.
I think Anian knows it's an orb. She just hasn't said that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
True, true.
I guess you could ask if there is an object corrupting the minds of the high elf lords and ladies.
True. Because if she didn't say orb, then it would be either artifact. Because she's like,
Yeah.
what's another word for artifact? I don't know. Artifact.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Um, she goes ahead and she brings out her little bell,
Mhm.
and it rings very gently. And as a warmth of just suddenly, like the sunlight and everything being very, very bright, she'll
Mhm.
just be like, um, hello, friend. It's been a good morning today. I was wondering if you knew if there is a source of magical corruption among the high elf nobility. Uh, yeah, that we were talking about.
That we were
In
talking about.
in that place that we were talking about.
Okay. So, you ask the question, and you do feel, of course, when once again the gentle warmth of the god around you, and you don't hear anything for just a minute before you hear it reply with, "They do what they think is best. Corruption is difficult to establish. Their hearts are cold, but their souls are warm."
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, friend. I'll go relay this to the others so they can help interpret that. So the little bell goes quiet after like it dinged once.
Mm-hmm.
So they said that they do what they think is best. They said it's not really corruption. Um, their hearts are cold, but their souls are warm. So
That's interesting.
So it's like they do what they think is best. So I guess they maybe are rulers of their own mind.
Mm, I believe that means that they have good intentions, but whatever this object may be doing is twisting those intentions to do bad things.
Oh, that is a really good way to word that.
Thank you.
I'm glad I said this out loud.
I love Rue so much.
That's how I would interpret it anyway.
I like it.
But that does mean there's something going on. Because they didn't just straight up say no.
Yeah. Their souls are warm. Hearts are cold. Maybe selfishness? Mm.
It's a word for it.
Mm. Thanks so much, friend. Another time.
Feel
You don't
gentle
think-
breeze flowing through the small clearing.
You don't think that they've possibly been slowly becoming corrupt from the beginning? What if that was the case for their emissary as well? Do you think that's where their pride comes from?
You mean the High Elf Pride?
Yes, exactly.
No. Oh,
Oh, we lost someone.
Ooh. Oh,
Okay.
Cyril.
Cyril, no.
Oh,
Oh,
there
yeah,
he is.
Cyril's back.
Cyril, yes.
And you'll be like, no, I think High Elves are just generally prideful.
And dismissive?
Yes! Not of each other, though.
Hey.
It is really not looking good for these high elves. I mean, we just kind of clarified that they blew up that place. She says quieter. From friend, right? So, and now they're kind of.
Well, not all of them.
Oh yeah, no, but the ones that we're talking about, I guess.
Well, that's mostly all I heard about this artifact. The other thing that was mentioned, was the actual phrase. It was, and she'll think for a moment, which is me looking through my notes really fast. Let me scroll up. I just had it, and then it was gone. Where did it go? Did it go? I just had it. Oh wait, found it. Okay. And she'll go. And it was the snake shines brightly with the two silver eyes. And supposedly we can tell that to any guard.
Okay.
Oh,
But it must be
okay.
a guard specifically? Unusual.
Ideally a chatty one. One that looks like they're a gossiper.
In my experience, guards do tend to enjoy gossip.
Must be
Oh.
pretty boring standing one place all day.
There's nothing quite like tea to make the day go by.
One of these days, I'd like to try some. We didn't
You've
have a
never
lot up
had-
in the mountains.
You've never had tea before?
The dwarves are not exactly the most fond of plant-based drinks, aside from alcohol, he says
There's
with two fingers
alcohol
to
in
his face.
tea.
Yes, but it is a plant-based. He's fluid.
I'll have
Just
to,
saying, he says with a shrug.
I'm gonna have to get you some tea later.
See, Alexandra is now finishing up dealing with the horse, and she looks back at you guys, and she's like, "Oi, Freddy says it's time to go."
Freddy?
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, that's his name, I think.
Fair enough. I'll be right with you, he says, turning back to the rest of the group to make sure they have nothing else to say before approaching.
Ania seems done.
I'm gonna go up to Gelmar sneakily, and then just say to him, "Hey, we really have to make sure to every guard that we see to make sure to say that since they're gonna like it."
Not quite what I translated from that, but sure, it seems as good an idea as any.
Ania does not hear this plan.
It's a good term.
Walks up
None
to
of us
every
hear
guard
this
on the
plan.
planet. Alexandra just kind of looks at all you as you slowly get on the carriage. She's like, Johnny here is a good boy. She kind of pats the horse's butt.
Johnny?
Uh-huh. That's probably his name.
I thought you said Freddy.
Ah, did I?
Johnny
Yeah,
must be the name
Eddie's
of
nice.
that particular ass cheek.
I
Friday.
imagine she said Eddie.
All we know is it has it like it just rhymes with Freddy or Johnny or
It ends
Eddie.
with me.
Yeah.
It ends with E.
She got boosts herself onto a horse and goes, "All right, buddy, let's go."
Oh goodness.
Just like climbing into the back of the wagon as she's saying that. So how much longer do you think it's going to be before we arrive?
She kind of looks over at Cyril.
Cyril gets up on the elk. Based on what I was able to see, we're only a few hours out.
What he said.
All right, then I suppose it's a good opportunity to do a quick sharpening, he said, as reaching his back, realizing his axes aren't there, and needing to go sprint to go get those.
Ah, yeah. Grab mine too,
Oops.
won't you?
Forget the
Right
weapons.
on it!
I appreciate it. All right. Douchey, let's go. And she just kind of starts moving the horse forwards.
Wow, Billy is such a good horse.
I know, right? Yeah.
Ania hates this.
Now I'm just imagining Gelmar just like chasing after the wagon as they're going.
It's got a fairly slow pace, so you catch up quite quickly. And you hear, Dilly is my favorite horse.
Dilly dilly.
You're doing this on purpose.
I don't know, I just can't remember his fucking name.
I could ask him.
You can talk to horses? Are you a horse
Yes.
girl?
No,
Oh.
I can talk to any animal.
Are you half animal?
I can turn into one.
Well. Neat.
Maybe I'll ask him later.
Yeah. Donkey is a very nice name for him.
Donkey.
I just imagine that one of these random comments just happens to say something that's like an insult in horse language, and it just kicks her or something like that.
He is a surprisingly peaceful horse as like you guys are moving. Ania can also tell from her experience he's kind of old too. He even doesn't like he doesn't even react a lot to a lot of the names, so it's possible he has hearing issues too.
No, poor thing.
But after a couple of hours, you guys do make it to the city of Stillwater, which I have a thingy. So I'm going to pull that up real quick, and then I will actually verbiage it on. Oops. I actually have to find it first. Don't worry about it. There you go. Oh, still.
What time are we arriving?
You guys be arriving 2 o'clock p.m. roughly.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
heck, that's a big hamlet.
Oh, yeah. And apparently I named it Stillmere, not Stillwater. So,
Oops.
Coming up Stillwater over here.
Yeah, it's because I'm bad at naming things. But it's the town of Stillmere. So you guys come up there about 2 p.m.-ish. As you guys have walked, it's actually gotten a little bit chillier. So it's autumn now for you guys. So the months of fall, specifically the month of autumn. And even during the day, it has started to chill a little bit compared to what it was during summer. So instead of its usual about 75 or so, like you guys were just experiencing like 2 hours ago, it's now dropped down to about 65 degrees. So a little bit chilly for a few of you guys. Obviously for someone like Sapphire is perfectly fine because she has her coat and all that. But especially those who are wearing primarily metal, like Rue, it's starting to get a little bit colder. But as you guys approach Stillmere, the town looks deceptively peaceful. It's nestled in a low valley surrounded by sparse woods and gentle hills. There are small, modest wooden homes that dot the landscape, and a central square that holds a weathered well and a single market stall. The faint sound of running water from the Crystal Vale Spring, which is a small, a small water source. And I realized I didn't actually copy over description for that either, so hold on just a second, because it is quite important. Don't worry, I will eventually have things actually at the ready one day. But it is semi-important. There is.
If Cyril's within like waving distance of the carriage, and he's gonna like wave him over so she can talk with everyone at once and be like, are we going to announce ourselves as here to solve the kidnapping problem, or are we like what's our story to tell everyone in case it gets to the wrong people?
We're a group of travelers making our way through and saw something that looked a little unusual.
And you'll seem fine with that and look around to see if anyone has alternative ideas.
I think that should work fine.
I shall write that down.
And then Neil will like lean up so she can tell Alexandria, we're gonna tell people we're not from Roderick's place. We're just travelers.
All right.
And she'll like
Kitty. She just kind of pets the horse again.
and Neil will thumbs up.
So you guys are coming into the town at this point, and you guys can see in the heart of Stillmere is the Crystal Vale Spring. It is a natural landmark that has long been a source of life and pride for the town, based on what Alexandra has been telling you guys for the last hour or two. Its waters emerge from a jagged fissure in the cluster of smooth white stones at the base of a low hill. The hill kind of expands a little bit out into the town, which lifts up the town a little bit in the back while going down in the front, where you guys are coming in. It is framed by moss and creeping vines, and the water flows gently into a shallow, clear pool before feeding into a narrow stream that winds through the town. As you guys start to get closer to the town, there is a deeply uneasy silence that blankets over it. The people seem weary, those that you can see at least. Many of them look at you guys before hurriedly walking away or looking away. There are doors around the town that are creaking as they are closed and sometimes slamming. And you would imagine there would be a lot of children in this town who'd be running around and cheering, but there are none. There's just a deep tension in the air, as if the townsfolk are holding their breath, waiting for something terrible to happen. Do you guys get closer to the Crystal Veil, or do you guys just kind of look around? What do you guys do?
And has Alexandria stopped the cart?
Yeah, she stopped it pretty much at the entrance to the town, more or less.
No, okay.
I mean, I'd at least like to start by taking a look at the thing. Or
Yeah,
trying to
Nia's
examine it in one
interested.
way or another.
She's interested in the spring.
The
Okay.
crystal mirror. Or the crystal...
Yeah, Crystal Veil
Veil.
Spring. I'll type in the chat real quick. And you guys can very quickly see why it has this name. As you are looking at it, even with, there's a slight fog going on, the clouds above are starting to dim the light a little bit. But even in this dim light, even with the fog, this spring sparkles like liquid crystal. Its surface reflecting the faint shimmer of the sun rays as it slides down into the water. The clarity of the water is so pristine that every pebble and plant at the bottom is visible, giving it an almost otherworldly quality. Very similar almost to the moon pool that you guys had encountered earlier, but in this case, crystal clear rather than reflective. Alexandra mentions that it's been long whispered that the spring was blessed by either the gods or the fae, or it has, mild healing properties, or, any weird fascination that people can come up with has been come up for this pool. As you guys are looking at it, roll me, whoever is looking intently, roll me a perception check.
My rolls are garbage, and I don't want them to be.
Very fair.
Perception?
Anyone who's looking, anyone who's looking deeply at
the
this
water.
pool, at the water, roll me a perception check.
Yeah, I'll look at this pool. I'll look.
They
My
got it.
Oh, yeah, I see nothing.
Ooh, water.
You,
Oh,
you
it's
you
pretty.
lean over, you see the very clear pool, and you go, no. You look away. So, Ania, with your pristine perception, as you always
My
have,
eyes. Special eyes.
you notice that is quite clear and is very beautiful, but it's not as pretty as you would expect, honestly. Even looking at it, and it's shining, it's reflective, it's glistening like, liquid crystal. It's just a little bit duller than you would expect from a pool of this nature. And as you look a little bit closer, you realize why. There's a slight tinge of green all the way down in the bottom of the depths. It's particularly when the light catches it just right. It's a little bit green, not a whole lot. It's really hard to see, but there is a green shimmer near the bottom. As you look around a little bit too, you notice that a lot of the vegetation around the spring, at first glance, it looks really nice. And then you notice that it's kind of wilting just a little bit. The moss that is covering between a lot of cracks, you gently touch, and it's brittle. It almost turns to dust in your fingers, as weird as that is. You sniff a little bit, and there's a very, very faint, almost sulfurous smell around the water. It's barely perceptible, and you look up a little bit, and you can hear that the larger pool of water that is feeding this small spring. It's quite slow, strangely slow, especially for a pool of this size. It's very strange that it's not flowing a little bit faster, that the water isn't transferring a little bit better. If you want to look even closer at it, feel free to give me an investigation And Sapphire, you would definitely notice all of this as well. And you would also notice that like a lot of the vegetation that's around the corners of the pool are turning black. It's very strange to you because most of these plants are a vibrant green. So the fact that turning black and some of them as brittle as the moss is deeply concerning to someone who spent as much time in the forest as you have. But,
So, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, if you guys would like to look even deeper at all this, feel free to roll an investigation check.
So, since Ania's been with the party for a while, they probably instantly can tell that she has found something that caught her interest as she starts like circling this pool, like going from like half circling one way, half circling the other way. And before I do any investigation, she is going to announce, "This water's not doing well. Neither are the plants." Just to get the other party to look at it too. And I actually want to roll a nature check to see how long the plants may have been like this. Like, could I tell how long the plants have been ailing?
Roll me a nature check. And Sapphire, I'm assuming that 6 is an investigation check. You are seeing markings, I suppose, on a lot of these stones, but they just kind of look like someone either slashed into them by accident, kicked them, kids could have done it, or even dog's teeth if they're chewing on it or something of that sort. It's odd, but you don't notice too much of it. With an 11 for your nature check, I would say you have a very difficult time trying to think about what this could be. How old these plants are, how long this pool has been suffering like this. It's been at least a couple of months, maybe a couple of years. These plants, they still have life to them. You can feel it through, obviously you have connections to nature through being a druid, so you can feel the essence, the magic of the nature flowing through all these different plants, and they're fighting really hard to survive, especially with the water that they are around the pool. It seems to be feeding them life almost. These plants are, from what you can tell, constantly in a state of life and death. They can't die, and yet they can't survive through this. For whatever reason, the infection or whatever it is that is injuring these plants is killing them, but they're being constantly healed by the water at the same time. So it's really hard to tell how long they've been in this constant battle.
Okay, and I'll let the party talk before I continue doing stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna try and do, I guess maybe not two things at the same time, but I'm gonna do them. I can't do that. I don't have that spell up. Anyways, I wish I had detect magic up.
I do.
I do too.
So then maybe me doing what I'm gonna do might
Inspire.
might inspire you to do it. I'm gonna come over and you're gonna see my eyes flash as I'm gonna activate my divine sense.
Ooh, okay.
I'm trying to see if what's affecting this has anything to do with celestial, fiend, or undead.
That's a very good question. I will say directly affecting it, none.
Oh.
But indirect.
Let me look at your divine sense real quick.
And it just says celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
Yeah. The presence of strong evil registers on your senses. You don't quite know what exactly the evil is. It's not celestial, not fiend or undead exactly. It's really hard for you to kind of figure out what this is exactly, but there is a strong presence of evil in this pool. You can feel it in not only your gut, but you can practically smell it too.
Oh, question? Did we know before that the creatures what in the towns were like aberrations or something, or did it turn into something else?
Which town?
Like those uh oh no, way back when we were like talking about like the scales and stuff or something,
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah.
we're like, oh, it's like magic or something. Oh, did we say it was Fae in the end? That
Yes, the scales are fey. Well, they have
okay,
fey magic residing on them.
Fae magic because they're made out of nothing, right? I don't know if that's a tie-in. Maybe that's something else.
Could be.
Oh, the scales connected to Fae magic. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna.
Knowing that it's the kind, I don't know. I'm just gonna ask Sapphire. You know, Fae stuff, right? Are you able to detect like if the Fae are a cause of the ailment, or anybody else who does Fae stuff?
I can't say I don't, and I can't say I do.
Oh,
Ania has started to go towards where the water is coming out of. Like she's just like drifting off as she does when she's absorbed in something. Is it like up a hill?
A little bit, yeah. So,
Yeah.
essentially, it's the small pond or the small pool is more or less in the heart of the town, and then that is effectively sitting in a bunch of white stones that are just surrounding the whole base. And then to the northeast, pretty much right next to it, is a small rise, and then that is a little waterfall basically into the pool, and then that goes back probably about 30-40 feet or so, and that actually winds its way towards the outside of town. And as it keeps going up and up and up and up, you can see that there is a much larger pool basin, probably about 150 200 feet or so away from this crystal pond. And that seems to be where all the water is from. And then that is leaning against a mountainside. That's pretty much where the town ends on that side. And then that runs up further.
All right. So Ania's just sort of like wandering up that direction, but she's not gone too far yet.
Okay.
Like she's just clambering over this central town monument.
that's an interesting idea. Yeah, seeing how the plants are not doing so good over here, like they said. If we follow the spring up, I wonder if it's just this place that is having that ailment, or if the spring all the way to the top is also having that issue.
It's a
I don't
good
know.
question.
Where is it localized? So I guess I'm gonna go follow Ania. Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
I'm gonna do the same, but I'm gonna have the elk come with me to kind of help get us all up there a little bit faster.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um
I mean, based on its size, I imagine it can carry at least two people,
Yeah, I'd
and
say so.
then I can just sort of walk with them.
you got cloven hooves. Walking up hills is not a problem for you.
Yeah.
Before they get too far from the central pool, the crystal pool,
Mhm.
and he is going to, and I crack knuckles, speak with plants.
Oh god.
Nice.
Okay. Let me read that real quick.
Henry crap grades.
So
Speak with plants. There you are. So you can imbue plants within 30 feet of you with limited sentience. So you have to choose some plants around you specifically.
I would specifically like to target a plant that I feel continues upstream for a while.
Mhm.
That maybe like the plants could like carry information down river. So mosses, stuff like that. Something
Okay.
that looks stable enough to have a a conversation, quote air quotes.
Yeah.
But something that is also like runs along the river.
Okay.
The water.
So you do that. Limited sentience and animation. Let's see. They'll communicate with you and follow your simple commands. You can question plants about events in the spell's area within the past day. Okay, so you do this on one of the plants, and it's a I would probably say it's a long distance moss that has probably traveled quite a bit up there, probably like 20, 30 feet or so. So it's gone quite a distance for moss. And as you speak with animals in it, you see the moss kind of adjusting a little bit, and it separates itself a little bit to almost have like almost mimicking a mouth and eyes, but it's holes instead of anything of substance.
Terrible.
Kind of forming a face of sorts. And as you look at it, you just see it, and it just says,
Oh my gosh.
Kill me, please.
Okay. I will. Maybe.
Fertilizer. Fertilizer.
You're very sick. Do you know what the sickness is?
And she's like a little bit stressed now. And let me see. Do I have anything that will help
Crap,
plants?
bro.
I'm saying I don't think I have anything that helps plants with me today.
I think you can actually use Druidcraft to invigorate plants.
Oh yeah,
Slightly.
you're right.
Yeah.
Druidcraft instantly make a flower blossom, a seed pod opener, leaf bud bloom. It doesn't really say it helps plants in general, but Ania's gonna try to like give it a little Druidcraft touch.
Get a little Druidcraft touch, and you see it goes, thank you.
Ow.
It scared me so bad.
It scared me too.
Davidson, why the heck is your audio on my end suddenly so loud? What just
It's
happened?
so
Holy crap.
I don't know. I wonder if it just auto boosted. That would have been funny.
So
Hey,
is she
like
gonna
give it
try
a
to
moment
keep
of reprieve. It just goes and it just screams even louder.
Am I able to just hold this like low amount of Druidcraft on it while I talk to it?
Yeah, you could just you keep doing it. And the more times you do it, it's just like I appreciate that it just starts screaming again. It's like you keep giving it a little bit more and more time each time. And it's like what do you need from me? Why won't you let me die?
So and she'll be like,
I need to know what sickness has ailed you so I can help all the plants.
Some kind of snake. Something. It's so painful. I can't die. I can't live. I can't die. It won't let me die. It won't
Ania
let me.
is gonna try to scoop up the moss, and like she probably has like a water flask on her. She's gonna like scoop up this patch of moss and like pour a little bit of like her water flask water on it in her hand.
Oh, it kind of like moves into that water flask. It's like clean, Peace. Why am I alive?
Have sentience.
Is it no longer screaming?
It is not screaming, no.
Okay. Any like the part I don't when she speaks with plants, can she be heard, or is it like weird Sylvan nonsense?
It speaks common.
Okay, so everyone is hearing it screaming.
You all
So-
heard it just scream every time that she would do druidcraft on it. It would just stop for a moment, thank her, and then start screaming again. And
So
now
Ania has
it's finally at peace.
So Ania is like taking a moment to calm down. So if it's speaking common, everyone else can come ask the dying moss some questions if they want. Ania's a little bit shell shocked.
kind of looks over at the group.
So I'll come on over.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this snake?
I don't know. It just infects. Infects and never stops. We're all in pain. We're all alive and yet dead.
Did the infection come down the stream, or was it everywhere all at once?
Coming down, going up, sliding all the way down, and then coming back up again. The infection flows like water. Don't
Is
put me
this-
back. Just kill me.
Oh, don't worry, I won't put you back. I could keep you. Or do you just want to go?
I crave peace. I haven't been able to die.
I will grant you that. Don't worry.
I thank you.
Can I ask you one more question?
Any questions you need so I can find peace.
The ebb and flow of this infection, does it happen alongside the phases of the moon?
It kind of gives you a weird look, I'm hesitant to say. Here, you can't quite tell its expression, but just goes, the moon.
When the bright light goes away and the
Dark light?
and the pale light comes out, does this infection follow along with that pale light getting brighter?
The pale light sustains.
The
That
pale
likely
light
means
what?
sustains. That likely means that this pool has something to do with the moon.
As the moon gets fuller, the infection gets less?
We are sustained by the pale lights. We dream of the pale lights. We live by the pale lights.
And above game, remind me, the kidnappings happen around the full moon or the new moon?
Full moon.
Full moon. Okay.
While Cyril's thinking, Ania will like lean down with it. Do you want fire or crushing?
It'll kind of turn back to you and it will go, eradication. No thoughts.
Both then.
Dakota's just looking at Ania, just like baffled.
The circus, it has been denied the natural death that druids know of. It is an abomination.
Circle life.
Goodness.
And she'll see if Cyril has another question or if anyone else does.
So how long has the water been like this?
What was that, sir?
How long has the
Gelmar.
water been like this?
Time. 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 How long is time?
Hmm.
Mosses aren't supposed to live that long.
I mean, I think we could
I'm
follow.
gonna use a first level spell slot here
Mm-hmm.
and sort of help Ania with
Eradication.
putting this thing out of its misery, and the blade of the partisan is going to have this strange bright orange plant wrap around it and give off these cinders just as if it was a campfire. And I've basically cast Searing Smite on the on my weapon, and I'm just going to kind of hold it out for her to hold it up to it.
Yeah, Ania will go along with it.
Do you turn off speak with plants to it?
If I can, yes.
Yeah.
No, it must be conscious for that.
as you slowly turn it off, its face, air quote face, kind of like slowly morphs back into a moss, and you just hear it say, "Thank you," before effectively it turns back into normal moss, and you just, I assume, slap it on the blade and let it burn.
Like, is it safe in Ania's hand, or does Ania like have to put it on the blade?
I mean, I would have to touch it with the blade for this to work, technically, but it's actually burning so hot that it actually burns like white hot, so getting close to it would be you'd notice that it's burnt that it burns quite a bit.
Yeah. I assume Cyril's like holding it so like the flat of the blade is upward, and she'll like put the moss on that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
The moss, as you place it down, very quickly just turns to cinders and ash before it's just nothing left.
And you will have a moment of silence.
Gelmar just like slowly raising his finger. You're debating if he wants to say it now or wait until they've had their moment.
And it would only be brief. She would open her eyes again.
Couldn't we have just planted it somewhere else?
Nia will look over to the pool and say,
If what it's saying is correct. That moss is months to years older than it should be. Even if we did plant it somewhere else, I have a feeling it might have just disintegrated slowly or just died on its own. This water, I looked at the plants and something is equally killing them, but keeping them alive as well. It's doing both. Maybe whatever healing property the water has is keeping them alive.
Wow. Kind of makes you wonder if it's doing this for the rest of the people here or just the plants.
If this is their water source, they probably aren't doing well.
But you'd still assume that if that was the case, that one of the other residents of the castle up north would have noticed.
Maybe they know.
We could go to a tavern, if there is one open.
Think we
Okay, but
should
don't
check
drink
out.
anything.
Think we should go and check the. I think we should go and check that larger pool higher up.
Ah. Finish the investigation!
Agreed. If something is going wrong with this pool specifically, how are we certain its source is here rather than up there? He says, pointing down to the source of the stream.
Even so, if I can't imagine no one here has already thought that maybe the water is bad, but they might not have options. If they have, they might have already sent some people. We can at least ask. See what they know already.
That's true. We need to stick around, or to look for evidence as to whatever else has been going on anyway.
And besides, and she'll like glance around briefly to see if anyone is like watching or looking after the whole screaming moss incident.
There's not.
That
You
is
definitely
strange.
heard quite a few doors slam shut when the moss started screaming.
Damn.
She'll gesture around, and besides, now we have a perfectly logical reason as to why we're here.
Make moss
I
scream.
would say so. Personally, I want to have seen it before I ask questions.
It is also fair, but I think whichever direction we go, we should probably do it together. Doesn't
I
sound like
agree.
either way is going to be particularly safe.
I wouldn't want to miss out on all the gossip that happens on the other team.
It's not like y'all have almost died a couple of times now from splitting the party or anything.
Oh, that's true.
Let's split up, gang.
Jinkies.
What happened? Oh, they didn't say. Oh, just a regular night. And oh yeah.
So, do we want to go up first, or do we want to go talk to a tavern, or maybe the sheriff or whoever's here?
At this point, either sounds logical to me. I'll go with her direction.
And she'll look to
Forgive my
Dakota Rue and Sapphire.
single-mindedness. I'm going up.
The pool. Rue raises her hand.
They will seem a little bit like annoyed that Cyril has decided not to go the diplomatic route.
It's like, well, if you're going, then we have to go.
You could always go without.
Last time we did that, you got attacked in a graveyard.
No,
Sure.
we got attacked.
I said we.
I think I should be fine.
And he is going to follow Cyril.
Alright, cool. So y'all start heading up that little ridge all the way up to the higher up pool. It's much larger. You guys are fairly knowledgeable about how most water flows go and follow. So what it looks like to you is that the water collects up here, usually from rainstorms, which makes sense, especially inside of the later months near winter. A lot of towns like this have very heavy rains in the fall. And then that water slowly filters down into the lower pool, and then that filters into streams that go into underground sources, essentially, and then the cycle continues. As you guys are standing here, kind of looking at the area, it has its own miniature waterfalls too, which is kind of neat to look at and watch. The water does flow, and honestly, standing here, it's probably about 60, 70 feet wide or so, and it glistens. Every time the sun pops out from the cloud layer, the entire pool shines like diamonds on the water. Is stunning view. Is absolutely beautiful. As you guys continue to look, and the clouds cover the sky again, and the sun kind of stops peaking, you do notice that it shifts from a beautiful diamond-esque flashing of sparkles to slight green tinge to the entirety of the pool near the bottom. It's really hard to notice unless you see that really harsh change from brilliant sparkles to slight shimmer of green. But seeing that is quite obvious to all of you that the entire pool has a slight green hue to it.
Does that green hue get either darker or more dense looking the closer we would get to one spot or another?
Not particularly. It looks like it's spread throughout the pool. Doesn't seem like it's sitting in anywhere particular.
Should we try touching it with a stick?
Whatever it is, I think it's heavy because it feels like the coloration that I'm noticing is at the bottom of the pool.
Is there any to scrape up around the sides or anything, or is it only on the bottom?
It looks like the weird green hue kind of spreads along the entire bottom and sides. The hue seems to primarily come from as you look at the water, you're seeing it's so clear that you're seeing the bottom and the sides closer to surface, and there is that weird green hue sticking to all of it. So you
we
would
can't
definitely be able
reach
to
any
scrape
of it?
it.
Oh, you can't. Oh, okay. I will do so with my axe.
Very fair. All right. You guys see Rue kind of bend down a little bit, pull out her gray axe, and just kind of rub the side of the pool effectively in the water. And as she pulls up her gray axe, there is a very thin hue of very similar to what war moss would be, like a weird green thin layer, but it's definitely not moss.
It's goop.
It's goop.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know what we should do.
Yeah.
Detect magic, detect poison.
Can
Hey, Sin, what would a check be to sniff it?
You're gonna sniff it?
Yep.
All right. You lean your head down, you sniff it, and there's a very slight sulfurous smell coming off of it. It's definitely a smell you were smelling earlier. That was like wafting up towards it. It seems like the water is containing most of the smell, so as you get closer to it, it hits you. It's like having rotten eggs that have been rotten for about a month and just kind of stopped really smelling much. But if you like really get close to your face, it's definitely there.
Would I be able to tell if it's like bodily fluid or something that would be more intentionally laid?
It doesn't seem like it's a naturally growing thing, but you're not entirely sure.
Can I nature check it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
I don't know what this is.
Oh, can I try nature checking? I know
For sure.
survival and nature.
Anyone who wants to do either survival or nature, feel free to do so.
I don't know what this is.
Oh
Oh,
yes.
never mind.
So
Holy crud.
Rue knows exactly what this is.
So, Ania, you've been around the woods a lot. You've been in, wooded areas, you've been in clearings, you've been in stuff like that. It's not something that is native to a woodland. And that is super odd to you, because you've no idea what this is. You've never really seen much about it, you've never really seen books on it or anything like that. Rue, on the other hand, this sparks one particular memory of yours that you haven't thought about in who knows how long, honestly, based on your memory. You were in a springs at one point, a hot springs, somewhere. Best you could probably recollect is maybe in the desert region because it's hot, but you've no idea. But you were in the hot springs at one point, and you've no idea what you were doing there. You have no idea why you were in the hot springs, but while you were in the hot springs, there was this same weird goop film thing that was in there. And you don't really know why it was in there. You don't know really what it was doing, but it seems to be in much hotter climates.
I remember this thing. Oh, I remember being in the hot springs, and this thing was there too. So I guess it's common. But wait, this is not exactly a hot water, right?
It is not. This is very cool water. Sapphire, you kind of sort of know a little bit of it. Not as low as Nia, but not much higher. This is definitely a hotter climate. I suppose algae almost. It's not native to cold climates. In fact, it dies in cold climates 9 times out of 10. This is incredibly weird for you to see here. You don't really know what it is, but you do know that it dies in cold climates, and this is relatively cold. Oops.
Can we see the actual bottom of this whole pond? I know you said it was like 60, 70 feet across.
Oh yeah, you can see the bottom. It's only like probably 10 feet deep at the lowest, and it's crystal clear.
You've seen it in hot springs, so that must mean it's a natural plant, but why is it? I guess we could ask someone if it's always been here.
Would it cause this much distress to the other plants? Or at least the moss, he says, staring back at where the patch came from.
Maybe I can talk to that.
Because if the plants are here, then it's supposed to be hot here, right? But now it's not.
I'm not
Or
convinced this is a natural substance. Remember what the moss said. The snakes put this here.
Oh, the snakes put it here?
Well,
Above game, isn't that what it said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What was
So
that,
maybe,
Nia?
okay. They said it put an infection here. I don't know if they put it here or if they poisoned it and it was already here. The moss said that the snake left an infection and that it goes up and down the river. How can it go back up, though?
Because it's not exactly moving. She kind of like tosses
The
it.
pale light sustains them, it said too. So I feel like they were saying the moon must have an effect on this.
Well, we can see how the lake looks at night. Do I know what moon phase is going to be tonight?
You guys are about a week away from a full moon.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
The hell with waiting.
Moonlight.
I
Cast
was thinking
moonlight.
that. Cast moonlight.
Does Cyril say that out loud?
Gonna cast moonbeam.
Ania backs up.
The hell with waiting. Cyril steps forward,
She's gonna make sure Dakota backs up too. She's gonna like tug on his cloak and like like jerk her head a little bit back, like get back up.
Mhm.
Rue just blinks and stands there.
Yeah, Gelmar, not knowing what the heck is going on, just stares because he's never seen Cyril do this before.
It's
The hell
okay.
with
Oh, he did
me.
it once.
And he
Whoop.
steps forward. No, Gelmar's actually not seen Cyril
Yeah,
cast an actual spell.
he
Mhm,
did it
mhm.
once while you guys were at the graveyard, and Gelmar and Rue were back
Oh.
at the bar.
And Cyril's antlers glow that like pale blue light,
Mhm.
and he slams his spear into the ground, and this shaft of moonlight in the middle of the day just comes firing out of the sky. And I'm kind of putting it down in a space where I can see the most of this stuff.
Mhm.
This green algae goo.
Mhm.
And it just comes firing out of the sky. It slams into the ground, and it causes this like strange, almost like it's fighting with whatever's there, this strange bloom of these like jaundiced yellow ground level vines just snaking everywhere within the space.
Okay. So, as you do that, it's gonna get funky, boys and girls.
Oh.
So, when you slam your staff into the ground, a lot of things happen at the exact same time, and very few of them will be good.
Uh-oh.
All right. So, first thing that happens is as you slam your staff into the ground, and you are basically carving a hole in the clouds to a degree. And in some cases, people use this to quite literally pull the moon rays from the Feywild into the world. It's how you create that moon essence, as the Feywild is under completely different physics rules than the main world. This kind of sort of is where your power goes to as well, but also kind of taps into your subclasses, the hunt, because you hunt under the moon. So as you tap your spear into the ground and the sky kind of changes, you see two moons that appear in the sky, and they're flip-flopping. One moon is a little bit more glowy, the other moon has a few different shapes on it, and the image in the sky shifts between them before it flips over to your moon, the moon that you see whenever you sleep and you're transitioning to that other place. And then the entire sky goes red. Everything around you has a massive color of pure blood in the air and in the sky. And you guys all notice the sun is now gone. There is no sun above you at this point. There is only clouds. There's no stars. There's no moon aside from Cyril's moon that's cutting into the clouds. There's just black above you. And everything around you is now a blood red. And as his moonbeam hits the pool, and it shines into the pool, and the jaundice yellow vines creep out into the area, you guys see that the pool itself is glittering with green, and it's starting to waver and wane into the pool. And then each of the crystals, the weird glittering, the shining that the pool has over the surface, they start to change color as well. They start to go into a green color before turning blue, before turning a sickening red, and then it floats back into green again. and it almost looks like an oil spill goes across the entire pool from the middle outwards. And
Can
Hmm?
can I make a check to tell if this is hallucinatory terrain being broken by Moonbeam? Because I have the spell. I have both.
You have Moonbeam and what?
I have Moonbeam and hallucinatory terrain.
Ooh, I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, I've never heard of that in my
Oh,
life.
that's fucking
Wow.
cool.
I've heard of it. I've heard of
Um,
it a few times. I've never used it, but I've seen it.
Holy
You
crap.
make natural terrain in a 100-foot cube in a range, look, sound, and smell like some other sort of natural terrain. Open fields or a road can be made to resemble a swamp, hill, crevasse, or some other difficult or impassable terrain. A pond can be made to seem like a grassy meadow, etc., etc. Tactile characteristics of the terrain are unchanged, so creatures entering the area are likely to see through the illusion. Difference isn't obvious to touch. A creature carefully examining the illusion can attempt an intelligence check against your spell save DC to disbelieve it.
I like it. I would say that with you having both spells, Moonbeam doesn't normally interact with it in most cases. Cyril's not using a regular Moonbeam. He's not tapping into the Feywild. He absolutely is breaking whatever image was previously shown there. It's not daytime. As you look around and you judge the things, there's no sun above you. There's no anything you can see above you. It looks like it's almost permanently nighttime, which is a very uncomfortable feeling. But yes, he totally did break an illusionary thing around you guys.
Well,
he is-
Cyril, I think you should not do this spell.
What was that?
Leader, I think you should stop.
It's not the spell. This is how this place actually looks. We are in very big danger, and so is Alexandria if we do not find her.
Oh, that's worse.
The axe is already off Galmar's back. Or one of the two is.
I'm flicking that moss off my axe. Get out of there.
As you look at your axe and you see the moss, it is what you would arguably say is a disgusting color. It's black mixed with green that has specks of red coating all over it, and it slimes the end of your axe as you push it off.
No. Sacred blast this thing.
Gripping my gun and whiff of the beyonding this nonsense.
Let me see what that does again. Beyond, there it is.
Trying to get some vibe checks.
So you would know that aberrations have been around this area for at least in the last 24 hours.
And by aberrations, we know what aberrations are, right?
Well, yeah, that is aliens, isn't it? Fuck, I'm gonna change that bullshit. Monstrosities. It's not fucking aberrations, it's monstrosities. God, I hate the word aberration. Fuck that. Monstrosities.
I
That's not how you
able
spell
to
that.
see the town.
And what do we mean by what are monstrosities again?
I believe monstrosities are creatures that are configured either by nature or by science. They're not normal creatures. They don't belong in nature. I believe chimeras technically fit under this branch as well.
My patron is going crazy right now.
What was that, Gilmore?
So do owlbears.
Yeah, owlbears fell into that as well. Anything that shouldn't naturally exist, either because some kind of magic forced it to mold with something, or some kind of science happened, whatever be the case, it is unnatural creatures. So as your with Beyond is, many unnatural creatures have been around this area in the last 24 hours. And
okay,
as you
Sorry. New proposition. Simics are monstrosities.
Oh no.
As Ania looks back at the town, she can see that it looks relatively normal, but there is that red haze all around the area, and you can see that many of the houses that had looked normal are damaged. Some have like broken windows and stuff. And because of your vantage point and your height, you can actually see that you can see the spiral that you were looking at on the map. You can actually see it looking down at the town, and many of them are damaged in that spiral.
Whoa.
Oh, this
That's
is
dope,
bad.
though.
It is pretty dope. This sounds
That's-
just sound pretty dope. Can I see Alexandria in the cart, or is that beyond my vantage?
You can't see her exactly. You can kind of see the cart moving between a couple buildings. Is really hard to tell, but you have fucking eagle eyes, so.
Ania's staying near Cyril or Gelmar, whichever is closer. She
Mhm.
seems very spooked right now.
Did we see
Probably wanna do-
Alexandria or no?
You guys will have seen the barely have seen the cart. Or at least
Oh,
Ania
that's
will have
not
barely
good.
seen the cart, but not Alexandria herself, no.
I would probably recommend Dania stays closer to Cyril because Gelmar did not back up when the moonbeam dropped because he doesn't know what's going on.
It's fair.
It's fine.
Yeah, the entire area around you is a shimmering light of red haze.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
What
What
do
you
we
guys like to do?
Is this worse than the Vampire Lord? What are we in right now?
Why does this keep happening?
Why does this keep happening?
Where do we go from here?
I don't
Uh,
know.
Rescuing Alexandria!
Gelmar just turns towards the town trying to track any sign of her. Probably because he didn't look when the cart was immediately seen.
What is my divine sense picking up?
So you are mostly what the fuck did I say? You're once again just feeling evil all around. You were tasting and smelling evil, but you cannot put a marker to it. It's definitely not the evil you're used to. Celestial fiend or undead. You definitely are not experiencing that exactly, but you can practically taste evil in the air. And as Dakota uses, Whiff Beyond, kind of seeing everything around you, you get a very strange marker coming off of him. It's distinctly undead / celestial coming off of Dakota as they use Whiff Beyond.
Huh.
There's a very, very distinct feeling that you got that cuts through a lot of the unknown evil around you.
Just like generally speaking, did I say like
No, just
Like-
using Whiff Beyond, he like kind of sees it at the corner of your eye and he just pings immediately celestial / undead.
Yeah, Cyril's sensing that on you
on me?
when you're using Myth of Beyond.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
Aside from that, you're just getting a deep, deep sense of evil.
I think we may have gotten here either just in time or barely too late.
How do you figure it's one of the two?
Because right now the only thing I can taste is the rancid flavor of evil.
This is really bad. I
You
don't
can taste
see-
evil.
It's a gift of the hunt.
What's
The
it taste
air,
like?
Hmm.
Not like I'm curious. What does evil taste like, sir?
Have you ever been fed rotten meat?
Okay, hold on. That's a good question. Have I?
You've probably eaten rotten meat at least once. Not from the jail cell, but after leaving it, almost certainly.
Yeah, no, my meat was perfectly mediocre back then. Couple times.
A little worse than that.
Oh.
Can I see if the town is panicking? Like, this is broken for us, but is there any change in the town?
As you look downtown, give me a perception check real quick.
Okay. All right.
I want to also, because I've been trying to look for Alexandria.
Feel free to give me a perception check as well.
Honestly, yeah, I should do that too.
Rue, you can see exactly Nada. You can see some houses. They're very pretty houses.
The houses are made of house.
Are you also seeing for Alexandria Gilmore?
At the very least in that general direction, mostly just getting a general lay of that area specifically, or
I'm just
town below us.
So you are able to see
panicking.
You are able to see that you're generally able to get the area in your head, so you kind of know which paths go to where. Nia, as you look through it, it doesn't look like there's a significant amount of panicking happening, but you can hear, even from this distance, the sound of doors slamming shut with a fucking force. However, the fact that this just happened, anyone who was outside their house no longer is. They're in their house, and you see a lot of different houses getting barred. You see a couple of windows. From this distance, it's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like they're getting planks put up against the windows.
As I'm looking out of the town, Ania's going to look for a bit more stuff, but she's going to say, some of the townsfolk who are outside, I think, also can see this now. So it's not what they normally see, or if they do, they see it at certain points in time. I don't know. Also, I'm going to look at the spiral. Is it complete?
From what you can tell, roll me investigation. We'll go with that.
Can I give her advantage on that? Because I'm also trying to look at that. Like, I'm using the map and everything.
She needs it.
So I need
it. You just hit the advantage button on the chat.
Oh, okay. I just rolled again. It didn't help.
Oh.
I rolled the exact same. Ania's way too panicked right now.
She's spooked to fucking hell. You have no idea. You're looking at it, and you're trying to line up the bits, and then you keep missing a house, and then you keep trying to go back, and then it just doesn't line up properly, so you have to redo the whole thing. It's just not working. Yeah.
So Ania's just panicking.
I think we're running out of time.
Let's go.
Agreed. I don't know how long it's been since your last hunt, but I think it's time for another. He says, already he darting down the pathway.
Oh.
That was a good line.
I love some of y'all's lines. Goddamn.
The elk is actually going to come up next to Sapphire and Dakota to pick them up.
Okay.
Because and Cyril's going to turn to the two of them. The both of you, get on. Sapphire, if you see anything, you have the best chance of tracking it. And the two of you together should be able to put it down.
Oh. All right. Hop on.
You got it. And I hop on too.
Cool.
And he is going to shadow Cyril.
It's going to the elk will listen to your commands. So if you just tell it to dash at full speed, you're going to get about 120 feet of of
Jesus.
movement.
Probably a more cooperative rat than my horse.
Yes.
All right. So you guys start making your way back to town. What's your pace looking like?
So I'm going to try this a little bit to help make this to help speed along, because I have 40 feet of movement. I'm actually going to piggyback Ania.
Okay.
And he is 100% okay with this.
And we're just dashing down the hill.
Cool. Gelmar and Rue, you two trained your entire life. I doubt this will be a very difficult thing to keep up with.
Yeah. Crashing down the mountains, the side. Yeah, let's go.
Especially with the active mobility runes, Gelmar has a movement speed of 40 as well.
Nice.
Also, you're
Also-
keeping up with Cyril at full speed.
Also,
Yes, indeed.
Ania's going to take like a piece of cloth from her pack and she's going to like wrap it around her face like a face mask.
Smart. Okay. So you guys effectively rush down the area. The elk keeps up fairly easily. Rue is a little bit behind. She's just not quite as fast as you guys, but
I'm
considering
coming.
considering your stamina, it's not even a matter of like how fast you go, it's just how long. So you guys get into more or less the back to the pool. The red haze has increased dramatically as you guys have gotten back into the center of the area. It's really hard to see more than about 30 or 40 feet away from you before it just pretty much is almost like a wall of red. Is incredibly quiet. It is almost pure silence around the area, with the exceptions of very few bashing noises from inside some of the houses, which you can see are putting up full-sized boards into their windows. But aside from that, it's dead silence. There is no sound in this entire town.
I'm just gonna shout Alexandria as I'm going around. Because she's not very subtle with her
Fair enough.
armor.
Your voice echoes, and it echoes far. And you can hear, all of you guys can practically feel her voice just like pushing out throughout the town. There are some noises of horse clopping around the area, but you can't tell from where. You can't really tell who or if there is anything around. It's still just dead silent. There's very little around. After a couple of minutes, you do see Buddy, the horse, coming up to you guys with the wagon behind him, but no Alexandria.
It's Kitty. Where did you go?
Ania will motion.
Bring me over to them.
All right. Cyril veers in that direction.
Very nice. The horse just kind of clops up to you. Doesn't look very scared or spooked or anything like that. Just looks kind of tired.
Speak with animals.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and hit that. And Ania's going to raise her voice a bit because she knows this horse is hard of hearing. She's like,
Where is Alexandria?
Gone.
Was she taken by someone?
No.
Do you know which direction?
Nope.
Ania will turn to the others.
I don't know anything.
Oh.
Just kinda jumped, walked, ran, walked.
They said that Alexandria jumped off the cart and ran off somewhere.
Walked.
Where did
Ran.
she go?
Or walk.
How long ago?
Yeah.
They don't know where she went, but I assume the direction they came from.
Let's go back the
8,
same way.
up, down, left, right.
And she'll she'll look to the horse.
Stay outside the edge of town until you can't see the red stuff in the air anymore.
Huh. Ah,
And
bye-bye. It's just
Okay, bye. Stay safe.
ain't nothing gonna kill me. Wish it would.
I shudder to
God.
think what that horse has already seen in its life that this doesn't scare it.
I think it's just very old, but we should focus on other things right now.
just walks on right past you guys. Just like,
Back in my day, this is how this is how it
You
looked.
walked up both hills with red lights all around.
Mhm.
It just walks out, and after a certain point, probably about 50 or so feet, just gone.
And don't drink the water.
All right. So we're gonna try and retrace the direction that she came from,
Mhm.
and see if we can pick up her trail.
I'm pretty good with tracks. You can follow after a horse. Or behind where they go.
So you guys start walking down the path, and it's surprisingly windy. From above, especially, it didn't seem like that big of a town. But as you guys are walking through the area, 10 minutes pass, 15 minutes pass, 20 minutes pass. You guys are still walking. And it's just kind of similar houses, same general structure, same little windy road. 25 minutes pass, 30 minutes pass,
How
and you're still
mu-
walking.
How much the same?
Yeah, can I
me
roll a perception? Yeah, I want to see if we've passed the same thing or not.
I just imagine Gelmar just like midway into it, just being like, "I thought hamlets were supposed to be small."
Yeah, that's a pretty long time to be walking.
Yeah, you I would say about probably 15 to 20 minutes in, you start to notice a lot of very similar qualities, and especially one thing that you notice is that you remember looking at the spiral in the town, and you remember specifically a couple of the buildings had chunks pulled off of the roof or beaten off the roof. Looks like somebody had jumped onto them and kind of slid a little bit. So you start looking at the roofs a little bit as you're walking, and within probably 3 or 4 houses, maybe 5, that same roof comes back again. And you definitely notice the specific move of the rooftop.
We're either going in circles or something is having an effect.
Well,
I would like to, knowing I might get blinded again, this keeps happening, detect. Do I have detect magic ready? Yes, I do. Detect magic.
Okay. Let me just read what that says again. Detect magic. All right, so you do cool. Always have to remember. Oh yeah, it was pinned, wasn't it? Ah, there it is. Cool. Thank you. That is so unbelievably useful. You have no idea. I would say as you do detect magic and you're kind of looking around the area, there's a little bit of illusion magic moving around the area within 30 feet of you. A little bit of transmutation magic. And a little bit of conjuration magic. All kind of swirling around each other.
This is really bad. There's some illusion magic going on and like 2 other kinds.
oh,
Tell me where it seems like it's all focusing the most.
I'll look around for wherever like seems the brightest with the magic.
Within 30 feet of you, not really that much. Honestly, as you're looking around and you're looking, a lot of it is brighter around you guys.
Us? maybe we can keep walking. I can keep this up for a few minutes. It feels like it's coming off us, though. Or at least it's centered on us.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
Do I know? Can I roll Arcana?
Yeah, roll
I think
Arcana.
I'm too panicked right now to roll Arcana, so she's not gonna roll yet.
Okay.
She's just gonna say, I don't know.
Should we try to disenchant ourselves or something? Dispel our magic on ourselves?
If you want to get rid of your magic, my restraints are ever hungry.
It's a good
That's
point,
true. Magic
actually.
eating on yourself. So,
Nice. Galmar, as you are walking, you swear one of those houses is wrong.
Can I look at it closer to try and figure out what?
Yeah, roll me perception.
May
Very
I
nice.
roll? I'm not gonna look. I was gonna add like the wheel to it,
Mhm.
like the omen stuff.
That won't be necessary right now.
Okay.
So you stop for a moment. You look at the house. You've been walking this same path for the last 15 some minutes. These houses are repeating probably every 6, maybe 7 of them. This isn't one that's repeating. This is a new one. You've not seen a new house for probably the last 15, 20 minutes or so. This is a new one.
How many times have we passed that one? He says, thumbing towards it.
The rest of you look at it, and you don't see a house where he's pointing.
Oh, I hate that.
Cyril, I want you to
Cyril?
come right over here. You're going to point and tell me just how far away that house is.
Above game, I assume that's not particularly hard.
No.
Perfect. Just hold up my arm continuously pointing in that direction. I'd say about 30 feet in that direction. Or correct me if I'm wrong about distance then.
About that.
And I'm going to and then the whole group will see the antlers glow again, and I'm just going to slam my spear into the ground, and Moonbeam's going to come down exactly where he's pointing.
Oh no!
I
Does
figured.
that deal damage to people?
Oh, it does.
Yes,
it does
it
a lot.
Good.
It does 2d10 if they fail a con save.
Jesus
And
Christ.
also, if they are shape changers, they have disadvantage on that save. Also, if they fail, they are forcibly reverted to their normal state, and they cannot change again while they're under the light.
Oof. As you do that, you hear a distinctly human voice from the inside go, "Ow, fuck, oh god, hot, Jesus Christ, ow, fuck, fuck, fuck." And he like grabs, like the door opens, and this just normal dude like steps out of the sign. He's like, "Fuck, ow, what the hell? What the fuck?"
He steps out of a house that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Ooh.
To you, it's just a guy pops out of nothingness. To Galmar, actually, the moment he steps out, it looks like he steps out of nothingness, but your moonbeam is hitting something, and then after a couple of seconds, the entire area turns into the house and a couple of houses behind it, and the fog grows twice as thick around the entire area that you guys are around.
Does my detect magic sense anything about this guy or anything else?
About the guy, no, but you will see behind him, you are seeing illusion magic break from the moonbeam. It takes a moment,
Okay.
weirdly enough, but it is breaking. But the guy just seems like a regular old Joe. He's wearing what looks almost like general farmer's clothing, some cloth clothes, some scraps and stuff like that. And yeah, it's like he has burn marks on him now from the moonbeam. It's like, fuck.
I'm not sure I believe this first, so I'll say, "Hi, are you an enemy or are you like good?" And I'm gonna sense motive what he says.
What the fuck? What do you mean? Am I an enemy? You just burned my fucking house. How is my house not burning?
Your house? it's not in a great place, financially.
Calvard is like,
Financially.
I'm gonna roll the percent. Oh
Feel free to roll.
Oh, no.
You see him turn to you with an absolute flabbergasted look, and he's like, he looks at the thick red mist around you and the no sky, and he's like, "Are you tax collectors?"
no! Oh my gosh.
You can come in my house if you want to. You could take a rest in there. I'll have you know, it's perfectly up to code. I paid my taxes yesterday.
The worst part is
I don't know.
Calvard doesn't even know if anything's amiss because for his perspective, that house has always been there.
So, you guys need to, I mean, it's kind of scary out here. I gave you my money.
Is it always like this?
What? No.
Is it always red like this?
No. Y'all came in and they just fucking turned red. Everyone went, fuck this shit, and went back in their house. Do I have to pay you guys? Are you tax collectors?
No.
Is that why you burned the fuck out of me? Oh. Okay.
No, we're travelers. Something seemed off about this area. Apologies.
Why'd you burn me? That was rude. My arm hurts now. Assholes.
Oh, he mumbles. Oh, the grievance on this poor man.
I mean, if you need a place to hole up, I mean, we can go to my house. Got a perfectly good boarding place.
Why are you offering when we just hurt you?
Because you all seem like you're trying to get out of this place and are scared as I am. And this motherfucker burned the shit out of me, so I'm kind of hesitant about him, but he's also 9 feet tall and that terrifies the shit out of me.
That's fair. Is Ania still on Cyril's, shoulders? Yeah. Okay, she's not moving then. Otherwise, she would have offered him a potion. She's staying up there.
So,
I'm trying to figure out, what's... So there's an illusion that's breaking?
Yeah, your moonbeam keeps breaking random illusions, it looks like.
Feel like we should start moving in that direction? Is there like an alley or a road that we didn't see before?
Yeah. Like the section that you moonbeamed was an entire section of the town that just wasn't there.
Let's go down random alleys and stuff.
Should we take the guy with us? He needs the taxes collect, I guess. He's kind of disobeying the law.
He might be safer not with us. Yeah, we won't burn it again.
Are you sure? I have I have some pie. Do you want some pie?
Go in the house and bar the door.
It was barred.
You got them off quite quickly.
I was burning.
And he'll take out a health potion and
Cyril, I need to give him the health potion.
Fine. Throw the health potion to him. Now go in your house.
You see, he fumbles the health potion. He's like, woo, 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 almost got, woo, almost, okay, woo, woo. This is pretty. Thanks,
Cyril's completely ignoring him now and just walking straight.
Ania gives a little wave.
Thanks, tiny writing person. Okay.
Okay, we might see you later. So, get
Please
your
don't.
paperwork or something. No, okay, bye-bye.
I'll give you some pie if you never visit me again.
But you have to give me the pie.
Do you want the pie?
Rook, come on.
Okay, bye.
Hey! You walk back into his house.
Is the road of this town...
Galva calls running away.
Is it dirt, stone, paved, brick?
It's a mixture of cobblestone and gravel.
Okay. And can I still sense illusion magic all around us?
Yeah. in this path specifically, it seems like it was broken by Cyril. So it's fading around you. So within 30 feet, there's like no illusion magic that you can see. But the red mist definitely got thicker.
And can I associate any magic with the mist?
Kind of. Let me look at the. You would say it's a little bit aberration mixed with a little bit of enchantment and a little bit of necromancy.
Oh, this place is really fucked up. I think we're getting out of the illusion, but this fog is magical. I think there's even necromancy in here.
All of you stay very close.
All right. So you guys go a little bit
out of game, as long as everyone stays within a 20-foot radius of me. Then I can detect if somebody's trying to sneak up on the group.
Oh.
I have blind sight within a 20-foot.
Very nice. All right.
Or make a semicircle around Cyril.
So this is where we're going to be ending it. So you guys walk a little bit forwards.
It's been 3 hours.
I know, right? Fucking time flies when y'all get spooked to shit. So you guys are walking a little bit further in, and you guys, one of you, I don't care which, roll me a. Hold on just a moment. Actually, I have to look at the attributes because I forgot what it was. Roll me a. Let's go with perception check.
I'm a +5. Who's best? Probably. Yeah, fair.
Probably Nia.
With her special eyes.
So, as you guys are walking, and you can all kind of sort of hear this, but Nia especially gets to hear this with almost crystal clear clarity. Everyone else is kind of like, it's there, but it's kind of hard to distinguish. Nia, you're hearing either singing or chanting, and you can't tell where from, but there is somewhere around you, and it's getting loud.
Neil, like, sort of clutch onto Cyril, and she'll whisper, like, loud enough, hopefully, for the group to hear.
Whatever that is, we're getting closer to it. I can't tell what it is.
Then we press on.
The further you guys walk, you notice that the town is not repeating itself. You're not entirely sure where exactly you're walking or how you're walking it, but the houses are definitely different. The sound starts to ring out through the alleys. It starts to echo through the air. You guys can now all hear it quite distinctly. And you can all tell with great certainty that it is some form of chanting. But it's not the full moon. There is no moon above you. The only moon that is there is whenever Cyril uses Moonbeam. So the chanting goes and it continues, and it gets louder and the mist gets thicker. And eventually, you guys hear footsteps. They're kind of around you, but definitely a distance. Ania can tell they're at least a house or so away, but they're loud. They're echoing through the alleys. As you guys are walking and continuing going, you can feel the ground seeming to guide you, and it starts to lead you out of the town into what is effectively a small clearing just outside the town, on the opposite side that you guys had started at. And you guys can't see anything through the red mist. Where would you like to go?
Can I still see those people?
You can't see anyone. You can only hear people. You
Okay.
can tell the footsteps stop as you guys get to the edge of town.
Ania will point behind them with her staff. She's like, I don't know if they're kicking us out or if they seem to have stopped when we left.
And I will say, yeah, not all of it was footsteps.
Oh no.
How many Yuan-Ti abominations are currently behind us?
Can you tell where the sound is?
I need to roll another perception?
No, they're hiding behind the houses.
Okay.
They're hiding behind the houses, from what I can gather.
Behind the houses.
There are people in those, so whatever you do be careful.
Now, behind the houses, is that within a 60-foot distance from me?
I would probably say just about at the 60 mark.
And the chanting that was louder, it's gone away now, it's behind us.
No, it's still around you.
Okay.
I
So-
still hear chanting, though.
Should you try firing a beam at them?
Well, I'm going to do something a little different.
Let them see the daylight.
So kind of sort of feeling the danger that we're in. Okay. At least for a little while, I'm going to have this up, and it's not going to be on me. I'm going to do two things. The
Okay.
first one, I'm actually going to, because I'm already touching Ania. She's just going to suddenly feel
Mhm.
gnarled vines wrap themselves all around her limbs and form like a sort of like a pseudo armor of vines, and I'm casting Shield of Faith on Ania.
Nia's fine with this.
She gets a +2 to AC as long as that's up.
Very nice.
And then over in the space that Ania is indicating to me, I'm going to use my spear and I'm going to scrape it across the ground. And everywhere that I scrape these strange little puffball mushrooms all sprout,
Mhm.
and they release these. It looks like almost like fireflies, but it's glowing spores, and they're gonna rush over to that space in a 20-foot cube.
Ooh,
And I'm
okay.
casting Fairy Fire.
Ooh, very nice.
They have to be a DC 11 Dex, and in that 20-foot cube, anybody that fails it is revealed, and all attack rolls against them are at advantage.
Beautifully done. All right. So we're going to establish what it is you see next episode, because it is going to be a wild ride, as the fairy fire is actually going to light up the entire distance, all the way that 60 feet. We shall see what that is going to be next week. So if you guys are curious, come join us next week for episode 25.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
So feel free to join us for episode 25 next week at 6 p.m. PST on Friday. We're going to go ahead and move to my end screen. There we go. In theory, that's working. Oh, great it is. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and... Oop, that was doubling up. We're going to go ahead and do a raid of a folk I've been following recently named Imiko Mori Echo. She's currently playing Silent Hill 2. So if you guys want to endure some more spooks, some more terrors, and some more fears, feel free to do so. We're going to do a raid message right here, which is going to be fantastic. Copy, I believe, the first one if you guys are not subbed, and the second one if you guys are subbed. And we're going to go ahead, hop over to her, say hi, get spooked a little bit. But as always, thank you guys for joining me. And thank all of you guys for hopping in and checking everything out. And we'll see all of you fine folks later. Have a nice night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.